Good afternoon, New Hampshire. This is NewHampshireTrackAndField.com, powered by Runners Alley, coming to you today from the 77th Annual Portsmouth Clipper Relays. Today's broadcast and meet hub is being brought to you by Bees Tees. This is the 77th running of the Clipper Relays, the 52nd Annual Girls Edition. The first 25 of them were boys only. The aim of this is to have some really good, high-quality varsity-level competition in a fun format. So all today's events will be run in relays. Everything is a relay today. There's no individual running events. You got to have 4 people for each team. There's a variety of events, the first of which is going to be our 4x800 girls relay. Looks like they're about to get going. We also have some fun events. There's a Buffalo relay. And there they go. Buffalo relay later in the meet, which will be contested by 4 athletes who all are over 200 pounds. So that's for our throwers, our weight guys. And we do a chicken dance where the whole entire meet comes out onto the football field and dances to that very famous song.
Thank you, Dave. So as you said, right in front of us, we do have the girls 4x800 meter.
It's like Portsmouth is taking the lead at their home track.
The teams that look to be in it would be Dover, Sanborn, Winnicott, Co-Brown, Bedford, Nashua South, Merrimack, Milford, St. Thomas, Merrimack Valley, Portsmouth, Windham, Kingswood, Bishop Girton, and Exeter.
So we've got a good mix of Division II and III teams here today. Kind of from all over the state, too, all the way up to Kingswood for it's quite a trip.
Of course, the 4x8 is contested at the state meet, so we do expect this race to be pretty competitive. All the athletes going for a time.
It's like that's Nashua South that's moved into the lead now.
We do see them come
lap to
across
go.
that first lap, 1:15 in.
It's a 2:30 pace, so pretty good pace. Again, these teams can use this to qualify for their respective divisional meets, along with the 4x4 and the 4x1, which can also be qualifying for their divisional meets today.
This is the second call for the boys 4x8.
Does look like she's picked it up a little bit, as has the rest of the pack.
This is Merrimack Valley in second, and it looks like Bedford now moving into third.
Once again, today's meet hub is brought to you by Bees Tees, right out of Keene, New Hampshire. Interesting story about that. The owner, founder of it, was a New Hampshire high school athlete, track athlete, cross-country athlete, distance runner from Messinic, I believe, under Mike Smith. And then he went on to compete at Keene State. He was actually my teammate at Keene State. So shout out to him. Big thanks for stepping up, being a sponsor, huge sponsor. He provided all the shirts, as we do see our first handoff with MV taking the
Merrimack
lead.
Valley, followed by Nashua South, Bedford, and Co-Brown.
Not the cleanest handoff I've seen from MV, which they did lose that spot again.
Yep, Nashua South able to go ahead of them with a better handoff. So although it's not a sprinting event, handoffs just are as important in that race.
Absolutely. Makes all the difference, because then you don't have to pass the person later on.
Right.
So to continue that, shout out to Bees Tees. Tim Pipp, shout out to him, because everything he did, again, they provided the T-shirts, which we are selling here today. Hopefully you were able to pick one up. And congratulations to him on the birth of his first child just, I think, a week ago or so. Still have South in front, though it does look like Milford is closing that gap. I do believe that is Callie Coffin and Rebecca Derm 1-2 right now.
That
so
is.
2 very prominent runners.
Rebecca Derm is a very, very distinctive stride. And that's Bishop Girton now into third place, just ahead of, you can see there's yet another team with a blue and white jersey.
And I believe that does keep BG in striking distance when Caroline Fisher comes onto the track as well. So right away, seeing some prominent names in the distance realm. Good.
And that's to be expected because there's no individual events today, so there's no chance to qualify in those individuals. So why not load up a relay and put up a good time?
Do see the lengthening of stride from Callie Kaufman, freshman from South. Does increase that lead ever so slightly.
And they and Milford have begun to really expand their lead from the rest of the field. Bishop Girton is third and charging hard.
Heading down the home stretch, this is Nashua South.
Nashua South, Milford, Bishop Girton.
Getting ready to hand off to the third leg.
And that looks like Exeter is in fifth.
Good kick out
Fourth,
of BG, which we'll see on the screen in a second.
Yep. And now St. Thomas is past Exeter.
Handoff right around that 5:01, 5:02 mark. So the leader staying on that 10-minute pace.
10-minute pace, yep.
I believe we saw one team go under 10 minutes at Black Bear, hoping to see a couple more maybe here.
4x8 back in its normal spot of the leadoff event.
Yeah, it does make a little bit of a difference.
Does.
Nashua South taking it out pretty hard right now. Second is BG.
Yep. Milford into third. Looks like St. Thomas is in fourth, Co-Brown fifth, and Exeter sixth. So we do have all the events on the track are relay events, and the field events are going to be contested in a relay format as well, where only 3 athletes are allowed, and they add their jumps and throws together, and they all score as a team.
Yeah, key thing is making that opening height if there is a bar in your way.
Right. Yeah, because if you don't, your team is out.
And then beyond that point, if you do have an all-star athlete in the pole vault or high jump, those marks will count.
They will count, correct.
As well as all the field
jumps
event,
and throws.
individual field event marks. So it's a good day for field events.
Yep.
Good day to see some good competition on the track as well, especially in the 4x1, 4x4, and 4x8, as you had mentioned. And then the fun events are, everyone does still take them pretty serious. Everyone wants to win, because what do we get if we win?
You get T-shirts here at the Clipper Relays.
That's right. You win a T-shirt. Did you ever get one of those?
As an athlete, my school came here only once, and I was a freshman. And the format was different back then because they ran individual events too.
I am curious what year the shirt started.
I started coming here in 2005 with Spalding High School, and they were giving out shirts then. So it's been at least that long.
I know I have at least one of my own. Can't remember if I have more than one.
I believe you have 2.
South with their final handoff. Coming across right now at 7:27. So again, right on that pace. Each runner running about that 2:30. So you can see our leader has a good size lead right now.
Yeah, first and second place are. First place is well over 100 meters ahead of third place. And there's about a 40-meter gap between first and second. So I wouldn't expect those top 3 positions to change, or at least not those top 2 positions to change significantly from here on out.
Yep. So again, Nashua South in purple is leading. We see her now. Pretty aggressive stride. She might be taking out a little bit hard just to kind of use the mentality aspect and put it out of the mind of Bishop Girton. Got some traffic to work with now, although I do see a good stride coming along from BG.
Yeah, Caroline Fisher is reeling her in, so that lead is not insurmountable from somebody who is as talented as she. I think that Nashua girl may have gone out a little bit too hard in that first lap.
It looks like the pace has come back quite a bit.
Slowing down quite a bit. Yeah. Caroline Fisher's reeling her in. She knows how to catch people.
So we do see Nashua South in first currently, Bishop Girton in second, and then third, I believe, is St. Thomas.
Yeah, Caroline Fisher smells blood in the water. And she's going to pass her here on the straightaway. And
smart move.
there's little that Nashua South athlete can do to catch her now.
Great looking stride, opening
Very
it up.
long, efficient stride. A name that's been at the top of everyone's list of girl distance runners in New Hampshire for many years, even before she got to high school.
So at about 100 to go, they're at 9:35. Definitely looking to get under that 10-minute pace.
Yep. Nashua South can probably get under that mark as well.
This is Nashua South in second.
It's going to be close.
So
They can get
BG
under
coming across,
9:53.
9:53.
South just going to get under 9:58.
As we look back in.
And that's Milford, it looks like, in third.
Yep, this is Milford heading for the line in third.
Exeter in fourth, and St. Thomas in fifth.
A lot of navy blue.
Yeah. Oh, and Bedford is going to sneak into the sixth position. And Sanborn's making a run. That's Christina Allard.
We'll hear more about
anchoring
her today,
their
I'm
4x8.
sure.
So she can range all the way up to 800 meters. That is impressive. So Bedford takes home sixth place.
So first one of the day goes to Bishop Girton, getting those T-shirts nice and early.
Yeah, they came in with a 10:30 seed time, so they bettered that by quite a bit.
Looks like
Got
we
our
have
last few teams here finishing up.
seeing 4 more on the track. On what ends up being a pretty good day right now. It's a little warm for the distance runners.
The humidity, I think, is a little bit higher than most
Right.
runners would like to have. But
Of course, hour or two ago we had several downpours.
almost
You can see the wet marks on the track.
monsoon conditions here. So we'll call out some of these boys' teams as we watch them assemble on the track. We have in this heat Bedford, Wyndham, Kingswood, Coe-Brown, Nashua North and South, St. Thomas, Portsmouth, Goffstown, Merrimack, and Merrimack Valley, Manchester Memorial, Exeter, Winnicott, and Sanborn. So 2 Nashuas and 2 Merrimacks, although one is Merrimack Valley. Top seeded team coming into this meet is Nashua North, who at 8:26. The record 8:05, set back in 2012, I believe, by Pinkerton Academy. Kingswood, though, is a team to watch. They have 4 very good 800-meter runners on that team.
Top 3 speeds are Bedford, Wyndham, and Kingswood.
Looks like we're getting some final cut-in instructions as the gun does go up.
Like they're listed alphabetically.
And they're off. So again, that outside group does have to stay around those cones for the first 100, that first turn, and then once they get to the straightaway, there's a break line where they can slowly merge across. Emphasis on the slowly aspect, as if you cut straight off, you're just adding more distance to the track than if you're trying to take a tangent.
And we have Kingswood going out to the early lead.
Yeah, they always have a strong 4x8, I believe.
Good 800 kids there at Kingswood, yeah.
Believe they won at Merrimack Valley.
Yes, they did.
If I'm correct.
And then also took home the individual event win in the 800.
Do see them being challenged right now by Nashua North. Third would be Winnicott. So again, Kingswood and Nashua North crossing the line together at 103.
So 2:06 pace.
Respectable.
Yep.
Bring it down there, and then they'll send the results up here.
Thanks.
So it's turning into a two-team race right now on this first leg, although Wyndham is in striking distance. That's Nashua North now taking the lead from Kingswood. Wyndham. Looks like Exeter in fourth. And I think Merrimack in fifth. Winnacunnet in sixth. Wyndham making a late charge.
Yeah, seen a strong kick.
Yep. But I think Nashua North's going to hold him off, at least for this first leg. We'll see how these handoffs go.
Nashua North, of course, another strong team in the
Yep,
4x8.
very strong.
Setting the
Yep.
meet record at Black Bear.
Yes, breaking that meet record. So North with a pretty good handoff for Nashua North. Able to separate from Wyndham a little bit. Wyndham had a little shaky handoff, and Kingswood's actually going to be able to reel them in.
North looking to take this first lap out pretty strong.
So tempting being one of those chase teams to really try and go after it on the first lap, but you've got to remember there's a second lap after it. You don't want to try to get back 30 meters that you are behind in one single lap.
So again, that is Nashua North.
Yep.
He's coming across at 3:03, so he ran a 60-second first 400.
Yep.
See if he can maintain. Would be pretty
Winnacunnet
impressive.
with a strong move all the way up into second place now.
Yeah, this is the first time seeing a few of these teams in this field, for me at least, this season.
Yeah, it's our first look at Winnacunnet and Bedford.
So North still in first, Winnacunnet in second. Good
Kingswood
40
third.
meters in between.
Wyndham, Bedford,
Second call for the girls.
and Exeter.
Distance medley. Second call, girls distance
A
medley.
lot of navy blue today.
Yeah, a lot of blue. Dark blue.
Coming down the final
Nashua
stretch.
North,
No,
again,
Nashua
pretty good
North
lead.
Nashua North in the
I feel pretty
through the
comfortable.
halfway point.
Feel pretty comfortable about them. They got two
Yep.
strong anchors, handing off 4:07.
Yep. So
Kingswood.
at this pace, you would expect that meet record not to go down. It's 8:05, so they would both have to run 1:59s, which is possible.
Yeah, it's very possible. I believe I'm assuming their last two legs are the top two finishers
Yeah.
for
Max
cross
Ireland
country
and
meet of champions.
Max Ireland and David Vorbach.
Max, of course, taking
You'd
the
expect
third leg,
you'd expect Vorbach to be in that anchor position.
which is what we saw last week.
Curious though if they're thinking about that distance medley later in the meet, if they want to burn both of those guys this early.
Well, again, I mean this event matters when it comes to seed time.
Correct.
But, right now,
Correct. And
Not
the
sure how they
distance
are.
medley doesn't matter in terms of the state meet qualifying.
comes across 5:03. Not sure how
So-
they're ranked right now in D1,
Yeah.
but I have to imagine they're
57 for that opening 400 for Max Ireland.
probably one of the top teams, if not the top team currently.
Yeah, I would agree. And that is David Vorbach. They're lined up for the anchor leg.
Looks like Max has slowed down just a
Yep.
little bit, but still,
Still got very long strides he has.
yeah, he's still putting it on. So no coach told him to ease off, which means they're probably going for a time.
Yeah, they're about to lap Goffstown right now with one leg to go.
Final stretch here of the third leg. This is Nashua North in the lead.
So let's watch this handoff, see how clean they can make it. Vorbach taking a good lead.
6:07.
Yep. So 158 will tie the record.
Not out of the realm of possibilities.
We'll see how much into the well he wants to dip, though, for this. They have a commanding lead. They're almost 80 meters ahead of Winnicott, who's in second place right now.
So again, Max and David did go 1-2 at Meet of Champions for cross country. Pretty impressive.
No, they've got the pedigree to do it. Let's see what their coach gives them for instructions for this last lap, whether he tells them to meter it down or just hammer it. Looking very smooth. Taking the inside on some of these other teams.
Tough to get around some of these handoffs,
Yeah,
but he does it
yeah.
very cleanly. Didn't have any issues.
707, so he's got to go 58 in this last lap. Went out in 60 flat.
And at this point, we should mention that the clock you're seeing on your screen is not the official time. It's only
Approximate.
It's our approximation and speculation.
It's like that Spencer Sawyer for Wyndham. They are right now in third place. He just took over third place from Kingswood. Got a very strong kick he has, but he is over 100 meters behind Nashua North at this point, so he's not going to be catching them.
David Vorbach still looking strong.
Yep.
Coming off the final corner, this is
at that 100 mark.
Yep. So
needs a 13, 14
yeah.
second. Maybe a little bit more, which means
he's going to be close. I don't think they're going to take that record. Yeah, 805, 806. So, yeah, no meet record, but
just
still
shy.
A very quality win. 808, great time. And here's Winnicott coming down for second place, 817. Wyndham in third. And there's Kingswood in fourth. Exeter in fifth. And Bedford in sixth.
That's a pretty spread out in that group.
Yeah.
I'm looking around
808 for the first place, and we're going to be in the 840s for sixth place. So kind of a big spread.
Yeah, looking around the track, not a whole lot of close battles. Looks like we might have one here between Portsmouth and Sanborn, but
yep. But they're both out of the medals.
Yeah, I'd say that's the closest two teams we've had this race. So
last team's coming around. Got about 300 meters to go. So with the meet order of events having the distance medley, I think it's safe to say that probably neither Ireland or Vorbach is going to double back to the DMR. That would be a pretty tough double.
Yeah. So again, the way the DMR is set up at Clipper Relays, we do see our 1200 leg first, followed by a 400, then 800, then 16, unless I'm mistaken.
That is the correct order, and that 1200 is such a weird distance. I think that's the hardest leg to run in the DMR, is the 1200.
Oh, yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, you don't do it in indoor, you don't do it outdoor. Maybe you touch it in a workout, but even most workouts I know don't necessarily have a 1200
and you're
aspect.
not going to be racing it.
So
next up on the track will be the girls' distance.
Closest you get is probably the 1000 indoors. But again, indoor track, it's a much smaller track, so different strategy to running your races there.
First leg 3 times around, followed by the
So what type of runner would you take for the 1200? Are you looking at that 800 person or that mile person?
Well, I mean, your best runner should be your miler, because if you're going to win the DMR, that's where you can make the most difference.
Right.
You obviously want a quality 800 and 400 runner, but I would probably move up my stronger 800 runner to the 1200 spot and then take in somebody in that 400 or 800 spot that isn't one of my top 2 runners. My top runner goes to the mile. My second best runner goes to the 12. Because those longer distances are where you can make up the most in this relay. a quality 400 for a girl is probably 59 or 60. And if you throw in a 63 there, you only lose 3 seconds. But if you've got a 520 miler versus a 540 miler, that's a 20-second difference.
Right. And you talk about the longer distance obviously being more responsible for making up that time, losing
Right.
that time. We used to have the sprint medley here, which was a fun,
Yes,
exciting,
that was another fun event.
fun, exciting race. But in the grand scheme of things, a lot of times it came down to what you had for a 400 runner and not so
Right.
much what that 100 was.
Right.
So we see a group of 4 girls and then a little separation. Another group
Yep.
of 4 kind of and group of 2. So that group of 4 is staying relatively tight together.
Yep. So we have Nashua, or in this heat, we have Winnicott, Portsmouth, Kingswood, Merrimack, Manchester Memorial, Nashua North, Merrimack Valley, Bedford, Co-Brown, St. Thomas, and Dover. And right there in the lead pack, we've got Nashua North, Merrimack, Co-Brown, and Bedford.
And the 5th spot is Portsmouth.
Yep.
Staying just
So
outside of those
None of
leaders.
those top 4 teams placed in the 4x8, which would lead you to believe that they probably did not load up their 4x8. And then if you look at our top teams in the 4x8, Bishop Girton, Nashua South, Exeter, none of those teams are right now at the front of that DMR. So different strategy from different coaches, some wanting to load up the more special fun events, others choosing to load up the traditional events to get a better seed time. There's no right or wrong way to do things.
Yeah, this is usually that point in the season where it's your kind of last chance to have a nice, fun meet, and then everything from here on out, you're starting to buckle down, starting to look at standards.
Right.
So this is the good final stress relief. So we do see some some teams.
It's a good mid-season kind of icebreaker, stress reliever. Because you're right, the following 2 weeks are both going to be tune-ups for that divisional meet.
Yeah, the season's moving along quick as we do see Co-Brown in the lead now.
Jump to the lead, followed by North, Merrimack, and Bedford.
3 laps for the first leg in the 1,200 meters.
So they got one more lap to go.
Looks like Abigail O'Connor of Co-Brown has stretched out a little bit on that lap.
2:38 for an 800 split.
So again, trying to figure out what to do for a 1,200 pace.
Yep. I would say anything in the 2:30s is pretty good pace for a 1,200 rather.
We do see that lead increasing as she continues to look strong.
If you were to extend that pace out to a 1,600, you'd be looking at a 5:36, which is a very respectable mile time.
Yeah, I can see her starting to kick it in now. Whereas
5:16, my bad.
second and third not quite at that kicking point yet.
These special races can get a little lopsided too if the coaches are looking to load up and they have a good team. You can get quite a gap in this race.
For the first leg of the distance medley, this is Cole Brown in the lead.
About a 50-meter lead at this point.
Yep.
Co-Brown passing off.
3:53. I'm going to go ahead and say that's a pretty good time for a 1,200.
So again, going right into that 400, so one lap around. So we'll see this
Big change of pace from a 1,200 to a 400.
They're handing off to a 400-meter leg now.
Or you'd expect to see a big change of pace from a 1,200 to a 400.
And so far, I would say Co-Brown has extended that lead again.
Now it's closer to 70 meters. With still an 800 and a 1,600 to go.
Yeah, and with that 16, if that 16 runner isn't ready to roll, it could very easily change. So any lead they can get right now is really going to benefit them.
It's done well without you, my friend. You've got it under control.
Yep.
Coming down the stretch in the second 400-meter leg, the second leg of the distance medley. This is
About to transfer over to our 800-meter. Let's watch that handoff.
Good-looking handoff, crossing
decent.
458. So we'll see an 800 run now. Our second handoff happening now, crossing 506.
Now these 800 runners got to be careful they don't go out after any of these 400 runners too hard.
Yeah, when the leader
Because
gets
they know they've got a lap to go and that team ahead of them is done.
You can use it a little bit, but you don't want to be chasing down to 400 when you're that 800 runner.
Boys distance medley. Second call for the boys distance medley.
So that looks like looking for Merrimack is in second. So there's the team in between Co-Brown and Merrimack has been lapped by Co-Brown. And then that's Nashua North in third and Bedford in fourth. So Co-Brown's 800 runner passes Winnicott's 400 runner.
And her first lap of the 800, crossing the line, 6:08. So, pretty quick first lap of that 800.
Yep.
Looks like she might be slowing down just a little bit now.
A little bit, yeah.
So we just heard it from Jim McKenzie, who will be joining us shortly, that Nashua North boys
broke their own
4x8
school record.
So well done to them.
Congratulations to them. So we're transitioning now from our 800 to our 1600.
About 100 meters to go.
Yep.
Still in the lead. Finishing up the 800 leg and handing off to the 1600 meters.
So another slight change in pace with this handoff.
Now this is why I said that you want your strongest runner in the mile, because last year, or no, I'm sorry, 2 years ago, Co-Brown had the lead in the DMR over Pinkerton by nearly 200 meters. And Nick Sevilla from Pinkerton chased down Zach Richards and passed him in the 1600.
So Merrimack handing off, 7:45. About 90 to 100 meters back right now. So within the realm, assuming the right runners are in the right spots. But makes it a little bit challenging when you're doing a 1500 versus a 1600. So.
Correct. And you've really got to watch yourself on this pace. I see Merrimack's miler really charging hard on this first lap. And I feel like that maybe she needs to back off a little bit, because she looks like she's out at 400 pace. And she has 3 more laps to go.
Yeah, looking to close that gap a little bit early. Maybe settle in at some point.
Really got to be disciplined in this opening lap not to go too fast. Yeah. Again, why you want one of your better runners who just knows how to run the opening leg in the opening lap at their pace, not to try to do too much.
Well, let's hope she knows something we don't. But
I mean, Merrimack's closed it to 70 meters.
You do have 1,600 meters to make up that difference.
But she has 3 laps to go still.
Don't necessarily need to do it all in that first lap.
Yeah.
Again, hoping she can make it a little bit closer of a race and know something we don't, but. Just saw Co-Brown working and get around Kingswood, I believe. So this race is very spread out at this point.
Yeah, it gets tough to tell who's on the lead lap and who is being lapped. But I believe it's Co-Brown in first, Merrimack in second, Winnicott in third, and then Nashua North in 4th position. Or maybe now St. Thomas in 4th. And I think those 3 teams, Nashua North, St. Thomas, and Exeter, are all battling it out for that 5th and 6th spot.
Well, what we do know is with 800 left,
Yeah,
Cole
Brown is in a lead of, well, it's about 80 meters still. Nice. Nashua North bettering their own school record by 3 seconds, winning that boys' heat. I dare say that the Bishop Girton girls probably did not break their school record, which is also the state record, set way back in the mid-2000s. But still a nice quality win for them, regardless.
Yeah, some of the records at Clipper are significantly, well, they're pretty old. Some are new. I think we had 2 records set here last year. I believe there's 1 field event at least. Yep, pole vault.
Yep.
Exeter going back to 1968. Again, combining 3 jumps for a total of 37 feet 6 inches. So pretty impressive to get 3 pole vaulters up that high, as Cole Brown does hit the bell lap at 11:36. Merrimack again in 2nd. Coming up to their final lap as well. 11:53. So,
yep. I mean, they've extended their lead over Merrimack to about 100 meters now.
Cole Brown with a pretty good lead, but doesn't look like Addison Cox is going to slow down at all. She might not be done, or she might be done for the rest of the day.
Portsmouth is making up a lot of ground in this last leg. One lap to go for Portsmouth.
And we
So
do see
100 meters to go. That's Addison Cox leading by about 100 meters over Merrimack for 2nd place.
And it does look like the freshman will be securing her very own, very first Clipper Relay T-shirt. Cole Brown coming across, 12:54.
Solid time. Meet record 12:42, held by St. Thomas Aquinas, which featured 2 all-New England runners that year, Caitlin DeRazio and Rachel Schneider. Rachel Schneider now running for Under Armour.
We'll also comment that Cole Brown winning that, and none of them were seniors, so they should be back again.
So Merrimack was finishing in 2nd. It looks like here we got.
I do see a good kick out of them.
Yep.
Looks to be a lot of ground in this last leg. This is Portsmouth.
That looks like.
Next finisher is Portsmouth.
Yep.
Followed by
Bedford and St. Thomas.
Followed by Nashua North and Winnicott.
St. Thomas might have 1 more to go. So that would be North finishing now.
Oh, you're right.
Winnicott with 1 more to go. So, again, nice job by the officials. As always, we do see some great work from the state officials, keeping track of that stuff. Not easy when it comes to this event, DMR, being an off-distance, off relay.
Right. somebody.
This is the first call for the girls' shuttle hurdles. First call for the girls' shuttle hurdles.
So we got boys DMR up on the track next.
Distance medley.
This should be a good race.
Yeah. Yeah, it should.
So I missed the 4x800.
Yeah.
On the
That
race
was
I
a
wanted
good one.
to see.
That was a good one.
Stuck in traffic. Fortunately.
Yeah,
So,
Nashua North had a very good time, 8:08.
yeah, they got some horses there that are running well this year. Who was second? Winnicott had to be second.
Check my memory banks.
The mean record for the boys
Yes.
distance medley is 10:40.
It's either Winnicott or Kingswood.
2010 by Pinkerton.
Yeah, Kingswood always puts
I
out
think
good
you might.
4x800
I think you.
teams.
It might have been Winnicott.
The boys distance medley are Pelham,
Although Wyndham was out there
and
too.
Manchester Memorial.
Spencer Sawyer anchored their team.
Yeah, he ran a 4:25 mile last week. Second to David Vorback. And that was an 8-second improvement
Nice.
on the season. I'm not sure he's run faster than that early in the year, but
So maybe you can offer a little more insight. I'm not a expert on this 1,200 meter distance, but how the heck do you run that distance?
well, I think it's the gut wrencher of all gut wrenchers. So you got to run it like an 800
Yeah.
and just survive, especially on
Yeah.
a relay. So you've got people counting on you.
So, I mean, I was telling Greg, I put my best runner in the mile, and I put my second best guy in the 1,200.
Yeah, and that's what I think's going on right now with Exeter.
Yeah.
Vandeslice is running the 1,200.
Yeah.
I would say Winslow will be running the mile.
Mile, right?
They got another kid, Jim Sullivan, who's decent also. So I'm not sure who maybe their fourth guy is, but I would think Exeter would be the favorite.
Yeah.
Uh,
I saw Pelham on the list, but I didn't see them. I didn't see them toe the line.
yeah, but Winslow can run a 4:21 mile, so he can make up a lot of ground in the mile.
Right.
So it would be interesting. It all depends on what who's in the mix, but they also have a great 400 guy,
Yeah.
Exeter. So they would be my favorites.
I was remembering back to 2 years ago when Nick Sevilla reeled in Zach Richards in the 1,600 and took him down, even though Zach had about a 100-meter lead
Yeah.
when he took the baton.
I think I saw a replay of that this weekend when at the Co-Brown invite, and Coggin was about 7 seconds
Yeah.
in front, and Max Island, I'll tell you what, I went up to Tim Cox afterwards, I said, that boy deserves the athlete of the meet. And that was my feeling. He got him more than enough.
Yeah.
And I think that was why they ran so well probably today. Good carryover.
Yeah.
It was a great
Yeah,
race
he ran
by
about
them.
a 2 flat today.
Yeah, he's solid.
So 2:23 through the 800.
So
A little-
nothing real
little bit
fast.
slower than I would have expected.
They're definitely
yeah.
picking it up now, though.
Yeah. Looks like Dover team in that second position right now. Oh, there's Co-Brown's going to make a run for this at the end. 250 meters to go. It's a big move. It's like Gavin Lewis.
Yeah, I would have expected a little bit faster, a little bit better effort than a 223. Not too impressed with that.
Yeah.
But they were all running in a group. It's a little bit hot out there, but I still think they should have been a little faster.
Yeah.
Heading down the final stretch.
I mean, it is an odd distance, but still, you know
Yeah.
what you're capable of.
Yeah.
In the lead.
So
Exeter
Vanderslice
Brian
closing
Close,
on him,
followed by Milford.
but maybe a little too late. So they go from a 12 into a 400, so you have a big change in pace here. Or you better have a big change in pace here. If your 400 kid goes at a 1200 pace, there's a problem.
Right. Is Cole Brown, are they closing with Tangway?
I would expect they would be. Yeah, I think they've got
He'd have a hard time holding off.
Dawson Dubois
Winslow.
in 800 and Tangway as the 16. Yeah, I see Evan there on the side of the track.
So it should be a good race.
Yeah.
Evans coming off an injury. He's capable of running a decent
This
mile.
400 meter from Porter Higas, freshman out of Co-Brown.
Yeah, he's tough.
Down the final stretch in the
He's going to be a good one. You
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, that's Milford now is taking over second place from Exeter.
Exeter in third.
They're going to need a big lead to hold off Winslow, but that's
Yeah.
that'll be interesting.
Yeah. So this 800's got to be important to both Milford and Co-Brown, with Exeter sitting in that third spot.
Girls Shuttle Hurdles. Second call, Girls Shuttle Hurdle.
You probably need at least about 150 to 200 meter lead on him.
You have 7-second lead right now. Cole Brown over Exeter. Milford would probably close with Blake Audibert. He's decent. But yeah, you're going to probably need at least a 10-second lead.
Yeah. And even that's maybe not safe.
But that Exeter kid is struggling a little bit, so we'll see.
Lap to go in this third leg.
They're getting out there. They're getting a pretty good lead for
12
them, so
seconds on Exeter right now.
Yep.
Co-Brown has.
You're going to need 12 seconds.
Yeah. It's like the Exeter runner has got a little hitch in his stride. Something's not right with him.
Not right. So that's why it's a relay. Everybody counts.
That's right.
Nashua South pulling into the lead.
Dover is still very much in it, right behind Milford.
Yeah, Dover's definitely they've got some good distance crew there now. Oh, this might be a big enough lead now.
It might. See what kind of shape Tangway's in at this point in his season early. Even though we're at the midway point, he really hasn't raced a whole lot.
Dover in third.
6:29 going into the 1600. Here comes Exeter. Let's see what they're
13-second
13
lead.
seconds.
I'd be surprised if Evan can't hold that off.
Yeah.
He should be able to.
And that means he only needs to run about a 4:35 probably to hold off.
It doesn't look like Winslow's going
Winslow.
that hard. I think Winslow shut it down before he even started it up. No, I think Evan's going to hold him off. He must be. What do we have later?
Steeplechase, because we've already had the 4x8.
Yeah.
And there's a 4x4, but there's nothing else that these distance guys will be doing.
I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's giving a total effort.
Yeah. Winslow a steeplechaser? Could be.
Yeah, he could be. He's a good all-around runner.
It's like Merrimack Valley closing with David Reynolds. You know, Winslow didn't really even close at all on him.
Added 8 seconds on.
Yeah.
So I would say Evans in good shape right now. Evan, the Division II cross country state
champion. Yep.
And he's going out to Michigan to run.
This is the first call for the boys shuttle hurdles. First call, boys shuttle hurdles. Final call, girls shuttle hurdles.
One of your many Deerfield runners.
Yeah, he's a
who
good one.
Now all doing very well at the state level in their various divisions.
Yeah, they had a really good night the other night. I don't know if you saw the results. We had a 4:25, a 4:26, a 4:30, a 4:32, 4:34.
Yeah.
We had 3 guys that didn't even run the mile they're all capable of running like 4:30.
Right on down the line.
So, yeah. It's a pretty good night. It's a good night tonight for running.
Can you make an announcement about going to do interviews at the Runners Alley tent? And there are at the Runners Alley tent.
Winners each winning team?
The winners, yes.
Yeah. Who's the running LA 10?
That's a good question.
It's right there. See it right there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's right near the shed. And then they also have New Hampshire Track and Field T-shirts for sale. New Hampshire Track and Field at the tent. Yeah.
11 looks good. Winslow's
Yeah.
turning on the Jets now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what
Wanted to
happened on that first
spot
lap.
him 400 meters.
Yeah.
Field t-shirts for sale.
I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Also,
I'll have to talk to him later.
winning
find out what's
teams
going
on
on.
each event,
You never know what goes through
second
Joe's
to the
head when
Runners
he's
Alley,
giving these
tent
guys
for
race
interview.
strategy.
All winning teams report to the Runners Alley tent for an interview.
He went through in 3:30, so he's basically 4:40
Yep.
mile pace right now. But he looked like he ran real slow. And then he's putting it on, but so I don't know if he's doing an interval workout or what he's doing. But
Yeah.
he's definitely capable of running 4:20.
I didn't see Jackie Gahn in the 4x8 or the DMR for. I don't know. Exeter girls didn't even do a DMR.
Yes, Dover. So here comes Evan. Cole Brown.
Yep. Yeah, if Dover had made a move a little bit earlier, they might have been able to put something together.
Cole Brown first.
Cole
Yeah.
Brown in first place.
Dover second.
Dover second.
Dover second.
Winslow closing hard.
Yeah.
So he ran a 4:30.
Merrimack Valley third and Exeter
Yeah.
fourth.
He runs a 4:35 mile without.
Exeter in fourth.
Running about 70 seconds in that first lap.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was the plan or
Yeah.
what, but he's dangerously fast. But that was a good one.
It's the second call for the boys shuttle.
Nowhere near the meet record of 10:40
No.
set by Pinkerton back in 2010.
Well, it started right off. Running way too slow.
Wait for the last few teams. Still got a team out there about 200 meters out. No, still another team out there, so it's even now at the 200 mark. Another of my favorite events next, this the Shuttle Hurdles. Always fun to see kids running directly at each other.
Yeah, going opposite directions.
Let's make sure you're in the right lane.
Yeah, I don't think you want to hit the hurdle going the opposite way. I've seen some of the worst hurdle accidents this year. People getting hung up in
Yeah.
them, flipping over.
So Nashua South team finishing up here. Nope, there is yet another team on the track still. This is the never-ending relay.
Yeah, it actually gets pretty confusing when you have
Yeah.
that long of a distance and different guys.
Say that again, Stan.
Oh.
Yes, the hurdle crew, please get on the track.
Oh,
There's one
oh,
more runner
hurdle
coming
crew,
down.
watch out
From
for the
inside
last runner.
lane there. Hurdle crew, get ready.
No,
That's
okay.
St. Thomas.
Yeah,
Finish.
that's that looks like our last team.
All right, hurdle crew.
So our shuttle hurdles, we run 3 teams at a time because they do occupy 2 lanes, and they run both directions on the track.
The record is 106.8.
And that is held by, oh no. Oh, for girls, yes, I'm sorry. Girls, that is Bedford. Although that's not the same record that we see on the
Yeah, we have
That's
108.6.
108.6 or 106.8. Well, it's Bedford in 2015 either way.
A unique event. The first leg starts at the finish line and runs up the track the opposite way.
I'm not so sure it's not a typo.
It could be.
You know
It
what I
could
mean?
easily be, yeah.
Going the other way.
I don't know which one
First
is
leg
right.
goes from the right to the left.
So it's either a 106.8 or a 108.6, the
Second
meet
leg
record.
Runs the opposite direction. And then again. the
So
third
this
leg
always
goes
is
to
a
the
fun
left,
event to
and
watch.
The last leg finishes to your right.
Now I always advocated for my best hurdler to go first. This isn't like a lap race where your anchor can chase people down.
Boys shuttle hurdles. All boys shuttle hurdles.
We'll start with my best hurdler and let him get a lead and then just build on it or hold it.
Right, you best to get out to a lead. That way you have
Put the pressure on.
Yeah, and the less chance of other things going wrong.
Right.
But like I say, putting the pressure on is the key. And also sometimes hurdles can go awry
Yeah,
all over
yeah.
the place. So
Well, also your best hurdler, you want the hurdles in their correct position, because if one of your poor hurdlers or one of the other team's hurdlers knocks yours over,
right.
then you kind of neutralize your best runner.
I mean, the chances of it happening are probably not that bad, but you have one space in between, one lane space in between. But
Right.
you never know. I've seen some pretty good wood chopper specials
Yeah.
this year.
Well, I've seen more athletes put their hands on the hurdles and push them over because they weren't able to get over them than I've ever seen before.
And the other thing about this too, it's a little confusing when you start having people going the opposite ways and they start meeting along the. You know what I mean? You're seeing something.
Yeah.
You're seeing something you're not used to seeing.
Right. Yeah, that could be just the visual of seeing somebody coming, at your face in out the corner of your eye can be very, very distracting.
Right. So that's all there is. Three heats
Yep.
that we have.
3 heats of 3, basically.
So Winnicott doesn't have a team on the boys' side, huh? So
Oh, that's surprising.
best hurdler in the state.
Yeah.
I almost think that he could go down,
First in the
turn
first
around,
heat,
down,
you'll
back.
go down.
turn around, do the whole 4 things. I think he'd be hard pressed. to
I
beat.
think if you let him run all 4 legs, he'd probably give you a pretty good chance.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of these teams are just coming off 1 day rest too.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah, I
about
know several teams had meets on Tuesday.
because we went. Concord went against Bedford the other day, so they're there, and then
Yep.
we have a bunch of.
Co Brown
Brown
was
had
at
one
Oyster
Oyster
River
River.
2 days ago. checking out their track, which is
Nice
beautiful.
track, huh?
Beautiful track, 8 lanes.
Yeah.
I think it's probably not too far in the future where Oyster River is going to be hosting that Division 2 meet. Such an asset to have an 8-lane track versus a 6-lane track.
Yeah, I was trying to make it over there today for a middle school meet, and just see at least a little bit of it. But
That was just testing out the
No,
starting.
they're off.
No, they are off.
They're coming from the opposite way.
Okay, I was looking in the wrong direction.
Pelham in the lead with Cole Brown.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like-
see there
there.
you go. That's why you want your best runner going first.
Yep.
Well, I guess they're kind of fixing them,
Yep,
but
they were right on it.
so pretty even to this point. Pelham runners got a little bit better form.
Cole Brown's definitely closing the gap.
Yeah.
The other girl had better form, but Cole Brown girl was a little quicker in
Yeah.
between.
See a lot of 5-stepping,
Yep.
which is not
Tying steps.
not the preferred number of steps in between hurdles. You'd like to be at 3. It's the most efficient way to do it. But many of these
Even.
girls probably only doing this for the first time in their
It's a close race. Into the finish line.
career.
Right now it's
Very
Pelham in
close.
first, and Cole Brown in second.
Wow, close one.
Looks like
Wow.
Oh, I'm not going to call it from
Yeah,
my angle.
bad angle.
I think Pelham might
way
have
too
won
close,
it, but
yeah.
I'm not so sure.
It's like Winnicott girls. They always seem to have a lot of good hurdlers on the Winnicott girls team. And obviously we know they've got a very good boy hurdler. Who, maybe we'll see, we might see him in a 4x2. Maybe even a 4x1.
Yeah, I would think so. So the number 1 seed is actually Exeter, huh? Exeter and
On the
Portsmouth.
girls' side?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Exeter's had their share of talented hurdlers as well.
Yeah, Hillary Holmes
Yep.
years ago.
Before her, Megan Donahue.
Gives you Merrimack Valley and Winnicott in the second heat.
So no Merrimack in this one.
No.
They were listed, but they must have scratched. So Merrimack Valley's out to a decent lead.
Yeah. Over Winnicott.
And no hurdles were even touched.
Nope.
She's got good form.
Pretty decent form of both of these runners. All 5-stepping, but
Once they get it down,
yeah.
yeah, so she's less steps. So make up some ground. You
So
watch.
all right, this Winnicott is she's 4-stepping. She is really making up ground.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the
Just
difference.
the difference. Yeah.
So she got the lead.
Taking
back.
the lead now.
Yep. Not going to give
Yeah.
that lead up.
And this other Winnicott athlete also 4-stepping, and yeah, that lead's not going to go away. Ooh. Yeah, easily.
But you see how quickly the form
Yeah.
took over.
Well, going from a 5-step to a 4-step, that makes a big difference.
Just closed it in like
Yeah.
nothing. And the fourth girl was decent also.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, in the third
So
and
our
section of the
final-
shuttle hurdles, it's
Final and
Portsmouth,
fastest heat,
Exeter, and
at
Medley.
least on paper. All 3 of these teams significantly faster than the other team's seed times. See what they can do. We've got Portsmouth, Exeter, and Bedford. Bedford with the meet record that we're not so sure of whether it's 108 or 108.6 or 106.8, but
I believe it's down there. Yeah, down in that van there or whatever. So again, this is the third in the fastest section of the shuttle hurdles.
set, and they're off. So a couple of 4-steppers, 1 5-stepper. Right now it looks like Exeter is in a slight lead ahead of Bedford.
Hi, do I need to ask you guys to know something?
What is
So we're looking for the boys Nashville South discus relay team.
so the boys national South?
Whoa, that Bedford girl is good. She's 3-stepping.
The boys
Yep.
Oh,
discus
now
team
she switched to 4.
Excuse me, Nashville
Ooh.
Nashville South
Oh.
discus
That
team
hurts.
reported.
Yeah.
Boys discus team from Nashville
She had
South,
good-
please report it.
Exeter girl had good momentum,
Yeah,
too.
she had very good speed.
They send me the finish results.
Yep,
There's the class
Yeah.
of the field right there.
that's it.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, heading to the final stretch. That's Exeter.
And they'll take that one. 109.
Second.
So, good time.
Yeah, they could have been right there if that girl didn't hit the
Yeah.
the last one.
All
Yeah.
calls
If
in
the
for
record's
boys
108.
pole
If it
vault.
is
All
right, if it's
boys
108.
pole vaulters check in. You asked again. I'm sorry. Someone else is asking me something at the same time.
So we look to the boys now.
This is the second and third call for the girls 4x1. Second and third call. Girls 4x1. Please check in now. To the first call for the boys 4x1.
So it looks like only 2 heats of the boys.
Yep.
There's only 5 teams entered.
Thank you, hurdle crew.
Merrimack and Dover in the first heat, then Memorial, Portsmouth, and Bedford in the second heat.
Okay, we have some results in. In the girls 4x800.
Manchester Memorial seeded with a 103.9.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll give the record of
That meet record 102.10, 2002.
In fourth, it's Exeter.
I wouldn't dare try to guess at what team that was, 2002.
Third place goes to Milford, 1014.59. In second place,
Pinkerton had the state record holder for a while in those early 2000s.
10:45. In the winner of the girls 4x800, it's Bishop Gurdon with a time of 9:53.84.
But Merrimack, maybe? They always seem like they've got a lot of good hurdlers. It is Merrimack,
Yeah,
yep.
it's
The
Merrimack.
boys 4x800 meters.
James Miles and Mitch
In
Gladstone,
sixth place
2 of the
with a
best.
time of 8:43.83, Bedford. In fifth place, Exeter.
Ben Casey, too. He was a phenomenal
8:36.64.
decathlete.
In fourth place, Kingswood,
102.1.
8:32.96. Third place goes to Wyndham, 8:28.77. Winnicott takes second place with a time of 8:18.65. And the winner of the boys 4x800 meter relay, Nashua North, with a time of 8:08.34.
It's like Coach Lyford's got the measuring tape out, making sure those hurdles are in the right spot.
Yeah, this should be a good race. Memorial's that good, and they might
Yep.
have a chance at it.
Portsmouth has a lot of very talented hurdlers, too. He had 6 guys qualify for the state meet indoors.
Yeah, Portsmouth's always been known for the hurdlers. I've said this before. I had 4 hurdlers on my team that were just any year they could have won the state championship. Any year.
Yeah.
And they basically went 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the guys was as a freshman won it all, never won it again after that. But Reggie Snowden was the king back then. But we had a cinder track out here, so that's probably why this they didn't have the record then. But I think they would have definitely challenged it.
Looks like Merrimack and Dover in this first heat.
Only two teams in this first heat.
This kid's got good form.
It's the hurdle length lead over Dover team.
Ooh,
Oh. A little bit of trouble there at the end.
Dover's making it up.
Yeah, he's
Big ground here.
making that up. Oh, he's going to pull even with this Merrimack team.
Switching legs every time.
Yep. And he's leaning way back on that.
Can you call Flight 4 for boys javelin and anyone that has a
With the Flight 4 for the boys javelin.
Dover regained the lead.
Flight 4 boys javelin and any other javelin thrower who has not thrown.
Guy's got long legs.
He
so-
does.
Yeah, he's just.
He's eating up that track in between the hurdles.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
It's Edwin Moses.
In the first heat.
109.
Really. He really
Yeah.
tore it up there.
Yeah.
My wife driving you crazy?
Like he was moving too fast, but he was definitely like
When you
eating
think-
that track up.
Don't you think he'd be a good intermediate hurdler? Well,
I would have said a great triple jumper too.
yeah.
Those long legs. Would you periodically mention the interviews and the shirts?
Yeah.
You know, like.
If you keep reminding me every time you remind
Okay,
me.
all right.
Would the memorial coach please report to the finish line?
So what we
Memorial
have
coach
here.
to the finish line.
Manchester Memorial, Portsmouth, and
Portsmouth and
Bedford.
Bedford. Okay.
Just a reminder,
Memorial's
each-
the favorite.
each winning team, if you're a winning team,
By
you get
quite a
that
bit,
preview.
quite a margin.
Runners Alley
103.9 to
tent,
107.2.
Also, while you're there at the Runners Alley tent, you can buy yourself a New Hampshire track and field T-shirt. If you're cool, you'll buy a T-shirt. Okay, next up is the second of two heats. This is the fast heat of the Shuttle Hurdles. We got Manchester Memorial, Portsmouth, and Bedford.
Portsmouth with a slight lead.
Yep. Memorial must have three really good ones to finish with.
I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
But there's a wood chopper special right there. Look, every one.
Every single one.
You got
Yeah.
every one of them.
Yeah. I mean, that borders on what you could DQ somebody for.
With the first flight of the boys' long jump check-in now, it's the first, second, and third.
I'm
call.
sure that was. You're going to do the hurdles on
yeah.
Thursday night.
First
Yeah.
flight of the boys' long jump.
They were figuring that out last night at practice. Yeah, so Portsmouth. Well, Merrimack or Memorial's
Here's
last
Memorial's
last
guy.
hurdler,
It's gonna
pretty
tighten
decent.
up here,
Yeah.
but
heading towards the line.
it's got too
Portsmouth
much
is
to make
holding
up.
on.
I don't know.
106, both of them. So
Yeah, it's close though. I'm not so
Close
sure
Yeah.
we've got that one either though.
Looks like Portsmouth held on from here.
but nowhere near their seed time.
No.
Hurdle crew.
Next event is one of our three traditional relays that we run, the 4x100. A lot of heats of this.
Stand it.
Okay, next up on the track will be the girls 4x100. This is also the final call for the boys 4x100. If you haven't checked in, please do so now. This is the first call for the Clipper Steeplechase.
As we look around, we start to see the newly installed lights come on in the football stadium. They're
With the 4 by
making some
100
improvements
relay
over the
zone
fall and
officials,
winter.
Please report to your zones now. We need all of the relay officials in their zones.
Looks like we've got 4 heats of the girls 4x1. They're going to run slow to fast, so our fastest heats will be
What's that, Stan?
in the 4th heat.
And the record's held by Nashua, 1999, 402.7. Oh, we're talking 4x1.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Nashua North, 49.3.
Yeah.
Right, in the girls 4 by 100 are
49.3. Anytime you see a girls 4x1 dipping under 50 seconds, you know that's pretty decent time. In this first heat, we got Kingswood, Goffstown, and Somersworth. Only 2 teams, though, out on the track. I don't see our 3rd team. So I see Goffstown and I see Somersworth. I don't see Kingswood. So they're scratching or they forgot to check in.
Announce it? Oh. No, I think they go down there. I think they can tie. Oh, same thing. What do you have? Shot put. I believe we go down to that van down there.
We're just waiting for the relay
There are
officials,
4
zone
heats
officials.
in the girls 4 by 100. The first heat is scheduled to be Goffstown, Kingswood, and Somersworth.
Chance to see who's been practicing their handoffs and who has some improvement still to do.
Yeah, this is where the handoffs really make the big difference.
Looks like it's just Goffstown and Somersworth.
And there they
They're
go.
off.
You're looking for that baton to keep moving.
I think that's what I did.
Pretty good handoffs there.
4x4, but want me to give you a second? I think I did the 3rd call. But
Give the edge to Goffstown, I think, if they had a little bit better of a handoff.
do you want them all right now?
Yep, and that one too.
Again, this is the 3rd call for the boys 4 by 1. All boys 4 by 1 teams should be reporting in at this time.
Yeah.
Oh,
That wasn't a very
Somersworth unsure of what lane they're supposed to be in.
Yep.
Well, Academic at this point, though, they're way behind
Followed by Somersworth.
Goffstown. 59 point. Yeah, it's tough with only 2 teams to figure out what lane you're in. Normally, you've got lots of other teams there, so you just find the one that nobody else is in.
And where you get confused is on the handoffs.
Yeah.
Especially if you turn around and you're looking for the baton.
Right.
Results in the girls' distance medley. In 6th place, Nashua North. 14:02.
Second heat, we should have 5 teams.
5th place, Bedford.
Dover, St. Thomas, Co-Brown, Merrimack Valley, and Spalding.
4th place,
First chance to see Spalding today.
54.03.
They haven't fielded
3rd
teams in
place,
any of the other events
Manchester
yet.
Memorial, 1343.65.
You definitely, when you have this many relays,
Second
you
place, Merrimack,
can get spread thin.
Yeah.
If you're a smaller team.
And the winner of the girls'
Yeah,
distance
certainly
medley
the deeper your team is, the better chance you have of fielding all the different relays.
Well, I I can turn it up, hoping that'll do the trick.
Nothing we can do.
Exactly. So all of the field events, you should be going down to that trailer down there.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And they'll put them in the computer.
Looks like we do have all 5 of those teams out there.
So we got Dover, St. Thomas, Cole-Brown, Merrimack Valley, and Spalding.
Yep.
With the first flight of the
Oh,
girls
you know what?
triple jump
And it looks like
first flight of the girls triple jump.
the Kingswood team missed their heat, and they're going to be running in lane 6.
That's nice of them.
So meet management being very kind to the team from Kingswood who missed their heat.
Right. Sometimes they might be doing another event.
Up this-
Yeah.
up in this heat,
Field event,
It's Dover, St.
whatnot.
Thomas, Cole-Brown, Merrimack Valley, Spalding, and Kingswood.
Yeah, they could have made that change ahead of time, and we just didn't know what the official ruling was. Good handoff there by Spalding. Another very good handoff.
Spalding means
Yeah,
business.
they do.
Might be the only one that they
Yeah.
run, but this is the
Yeah,
one
they're going to
probably
make
gonna
it.
win.
They're going to make it count.
They're here, yeah.
final call. Shot put. Wilfred's the only one.
Not as good as their first 2, but still a very good
Yeah.
handoff there for Spalding.
Final team, I can't find a coach.
Well, they're going to take that heat
Yep,
easily.
about 51 seconds.
51? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
They were
Please check in
seated
the
with a
girls'
55.
Yep.
Girls' shot put.
So
And
pretty
if
good.
you don't have a team, please tell the
If
go
that
over and tell the
was
officials
their
that
best
the
time of the
round
season, that
is
would
on.
be a PR for them.
She's walking over to the
Yeah, they
shot
had-
put now, has a blue hat.
They had good handoffs.
2 great handoffs in their
Yeah,
first
the
2
last one was a
transition.
little slow,
Have a
but
shot put
yeah.
team
you know.
reported now for the girls. Otherwise, go and tell her that you don't.
This is heat 3. In this heat, we've got Merrimack, Memorial, Guilford, Pelham, Winnicott, and Milford. So our first chance at a Division III school, Guilford, is here today.
In this heat, we have Merrimack, Manchester Memorial, Guilford, Pelham, Winnicott, and Milford.
Good to see those Division III teams making their way down here to
I think-
Portsmouth.
As each heat
I
goes
think
by,
Guilford's got a
they're-
pretty good
they're
team, too,
the
as
Yeah.
far as
fastest heat times. The last heat, the fourth
this
heat,
4x1.
the fastest
Yeah, I
heat.
mean, some of these small schools probably, like you said, you know, they don't have a deep team, so they're not going to do every event. But,
Right.
you know, if you've got a quality team, might as well bring them.
the event that they do, they're probably going to do well.
Yep. Every team in this heat running with a blue jersey.
Well, first place is a girl in blue.
Yeah, that looks like it's actually Guilford. They're either in the lead or close to it.
Ooh.
Oh, a little shaky there. But they're out and ahead right now.
They cleared it. They
Yep.
maximized their exchange. Nice hand.
That was a great handoff there. Yeah. Wow.
They're gonna
They
get
have
good
a
one.
sizable lead right now.
Perfect handoff.
Yeah.
Guilford heading to the line in first.
52. Really good time. It was clear to see that that anchor handoff was their best.
Yeah.
Very smooth handoff. If
Yep.
you notice, their anchor leg got it early in the zone, so they were able to maximize her speed for more than 100 meters.
Right.
In this heat, we have Nashua North, Portsmouth.
You know, when your runners get good enough with their handoffs, you can start to play with that, and you can tweak and have certain runners run less than 100 meters, certain runners will go more than 100 meters. Kind of maximize your athletes. Some kids run turns better, others run straights better.
Back in the day, we used to use wasn't an aluminum
Lead pipe.
Well, our coach would train us with a lead pipe, but on race day, the other coach would use a steel and we'd have magnets in our hand. There was no drops. There was
Yeah,
no
no
USA.
drops.
No USA drop drop zone. All right, so in this one we get Nashua North, Portsmouth, Nashua South, Bedford, Exeter, and Wyndham.
Top seeds South and Bedford, both under 51 seconds.
Yeah, Bedford's got a stable full of good.
They do. They have a deep, strong team. You'll see them in every race of the day. Nashua South's team is really coming on there.
Yeah, they're tough too. They get a good.
A little slow handoff there by South. Bedford had a better handoff. Portsmouth coming up on the inside. Bedford with a great handoff there, but Portsmouth is going to make this one close. Yeah, that's going to be Bedford.
It's Bedford in first, Portsmouth in second.
49.9, 50 flat.
Bedford,
great
Portsmouth,
time.
Nashua South.
So not going to break the meet record, but very close, very, very close races. Good times, both of them around 50 flat.
Next on the track will be the boys 4x100.
So the next one will be the 4x100 boys.
Boys.
The record is Jamaica. You got Usain Bolt, Yusufa Powell. You got them all there. No, it's Merrimack. Memorial. That was that stud. Remember that team?
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
a good one.
State record team, I believe, right?
Yep. 43.3.
Yep.
That was a fast team. I remember when they did that.
Are the boys going before the girls?
And you'd have to look. I mean, you look at those four guys from Memorial that ran. I wouldn't put maybe one of them into the top 10 all time in the straight 100 dash.
Right.
But they had fantastic handoffs. They had very good athletes, but their handoffs were phenomenal.
First call for the boys steeplechase.
That's what it takes too. If you got great handoffs, that's the key. That's why sometimes when you see, even in the Olympics, it's not always the fastest guys that are in there. Sometimes it's the guys that are 100% on the handoffs. Enough of the Sidropolods.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the United States national team has not had a good record at those international meets with their handoffs.
So we'll say Memorial. That was a decent
Merrimack
handoff.
Valley.
Didn't slow down too much.
The record for the boys 4x100 is set by Memorial in 2015 with a time of 43.3.
Good handoffs. It's like Merrimack Valley in first. I think they'll hold on to that. Summersworth maybe for second. Pelham third. St. Thomas fourth.
That was Merrimack Valley winning that heat, first heat of the boys 4x1. Up next in the second heat, we have Manchester Memorial, Dover.
There is that school we were talking about, but based on their seed time, they are not anywhere near that meet record.
So we have Memorial, Dover, Portsmouth, Nashua South, Spalding, and Co-Brown.
This is the second call for the
And this is the second of
boys steeplechase.
3 heats.
And then you look at that third heat. Look at Bedford's. Bedford is far and away the top seed coming in.
Yeah, they're loaded. They're loaded
If
with
that's
sprinters.
if that's a legit season time, that's
well,
very
I'll tell you
fast.
what, Bedford beat Concord the other night, and their sprinting was what really carried them.
Yeah.
But also Concord didn't have Dalton Mutz.
Yeah.
So that's 20 points right there. That kind of moves around. But they have a whole bunch of good sprinters.
They got a great level of participation at their school.
Yeah,
They just seem to have kids who do every sport seems to be good.
Yep, every sport is good for a new school that's not been around. It hasn't been around forever. I mean,
Right.
it's a powerhouse.
Spalding, their boys team's got good handoffs too.
Steeplechase relay team.
Something they must practice quite a bit. Yeah, Nashville South.
Heading to the line right now, it looks like it's going to be South.
Yep, South and then Spalding.
Yep.
45, mid 45s.
So a lot faster
For
than their
South.
seed times.
Yeah. Yeah, those teams coming in at like 47 or 48.
So next up, we have Goffstown, Exeter, Bedford, Merrimack, Wyndham, and Winnicott.
Exeter, Bedford.
So
Merrimack,
first opportunity
Wyndham.
maybe for Billy Powers if he's out there. I'd expect to see him in their anchor leg if he's going to be racing. That does not look like him there in their anchor leg, though.
Nope.
Wondering if he went to Penn Relays this weekend and maybe is easing himself out of that from this week. Hopefully he's okay. Would hate for him to have an injury. I think that's a great thing about track and field is you can root for kids from other teams and feel okay about it. It's not like football. You don't ever want to root for somebody else in football.
That was a terrible handoff, though, from
Yeah.
Winnicott right there.
Yeah. Wyndham's
Because they had the
great handoffs
yeah.
from Wyndham.
This winter, Wyndham had a really strong
Yep.
sprint team.
They do have a strong group of sprinters.
Cole Brown looks like they're.
That's Bedford.
Oh, Bedford, I mean, yeah, Cole Brown.
Yeah, it's Bedford and Merrimack and Wyndham.
Well, so
Wow.
sure Merrimack didn't
Yeah,
win that.
I don't know.
That was pretty close.
Both of them are mid 44s.
Merrimack was closing fast. I'm not
Yeah.
so sure that he didn't win that. Looked like
And
It
we
looked
don't
like he
have
was
a
gaining
don't have a
fast.
great angle from up here.
might have ran out of real estate, but I think he might have gotten them.
Now, next event up is probably the highlight of the meet. It's the Clipper Steeplechase. Not the same steeplechase barriers that you used to race over.
I know, and
But-
believe me, I'm stewing about that right now.
Think they're getting off too easy?
Yes, I do. I think we should truck some steeples down here and do it because it really is different.
It is very different.
There is no mistake if you hit one of those.
Yeah.
Set up the hurdles out
But
there.
to save lives and everything else,
Yeah,
it's probably the best thing.
for safety reasons, maybe.
So, yeah, so what we used to have is the real steeplechase barrier, and then instead of a water jump,
Set 'em down.
there was a giant sand pit.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was nice because I did train on it quite a bit, and then I ran steeple at UNH, which was nice. And when you're at a school that's got a good hurdling coach, you get good at it. And
Right.
That's
Right.
That's the benefit
Goes hand
of
in
it.
hand.
Yeah, and the steeples were always out here, so you could always work on it.
Yep.
So it was nice.
I bet their wood shop could throw something together here.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice to have actually a whole real steeplechase pit. It'd be,
Yeah.
Because the only place is UNH and Dartmouth, SNHU. They must have a
Yeah.
brand
maybe-
new
yeah,
track.
they might.
Plymouth. I'm not sure.
There are 8 teams in the girls steeplechase.
Imagine they do.
Yeah, I don't know what Plymouth's outdoor track looks like. I don't recall seeing it.
I don't know, but they've got some pretty strong runners up there, though.
Yeah, they're young program, and they're
903.6
building really solid
was set by Co Brown in
teams, though.
2012.
Husband and wife, men's and women's coach.
So the girls' record is held by Co Brown, 903.6, back in 2012.
My memory serves me. I think Co Brown is the 10-time defending champion, having won this every year since 2008.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Relay, the first leg is a 1,200-meter leg, 3 times around. Second leg is an 800-meter leg. Third leg is a 400-meter leg, and the anchor leg is also 400 meters.
So you notice that this will be the only relay race where the girls won't be, or the athletes won't be holding batons. Hurdling with a baton could be problematic. So they're over the first barrier.
So a little history on the steeple too. One of the best steeplechases came from Portsmouth, Corey Thorne.
Yeah.
And he won the national championships back for juniors, and he was one of the top in the NCAA. He also got to go to China and compete. I think he ran like an 8:32 or so.
Yeah.
He was, several times state champion in cross country.
Yes, several.
Yeah.
And out in the 3200.
Yep.
He had a epic battle with Gore Majak, who recently had a documentary made about him.
Yeah, that was incredible reading that and seeing that.
Yeah.
And what Gore Majak had to go through
And what he overcame to, to come to the U.S.
Boys distance medley,
I mean, you don't realize how good you have it when you're in the United States. I was
Yes,
watching the thing
right.
on North Korea last night,
Yeah.
what goes on in that country. And,
Yeah, you can't imagine what that's like.
yeah, so when you think you have it bad, think about where you live and how you live,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
imagine yourself in one of these
Yeah,
other
when
nations.
your parents won't let you go sleep over at your best friend's house,
Right.
and you throw a little temper tantrum.
And the winner of the boys
It's
distance
Merrimack Valley now
Co Brown with a time of 11:09.9.
opening up a lead, followed by Co Brown and Merrimack, I believe.
Again, this first leg is 3 laps around.
So that's
This is
Bishop Girton in
moving
second,
down the final stretch on the
Co
second
Brown in
leg.
third. So this steeplechase opens with another 1,200, but then they go to an 800 and then a 400 and a 400. So again, that weird in-between 1,200-meter distance, although this time with hurdles. So it's even more challenging than the DMR 1,200.
So have you figured out how many steps that they've had between here?
I think it's changed. Each hurdle they've had a different number of steps.
I have Guy Stearns sitting right next to me. Guy, how many times did you run the hurdle, the steeplechase in college?
Once.
And it was 9:13,
Sounds about right.
right?
I remember it was.
Yeah.
It was done at MIT.
Yeah. It was. I remember talking to you after about that one time, and so now that's all I'll ever do. It's just one time.
That was a school record at the time.
School record. Yep.
I had it all measured out. I knew how many steps to take. It was, had it all by myself. It was, I enjoyed it. I had a bad bulky hamstring though, so I didn't do any more that senior year. Would have been a good event.
Yeah, I think you would have gone really far with that one. But it definitely does a number on your back, the water jump.
It's Merrimack Valley make their handoff. Got a decent sized lead right now over Bishop Girton. Merrimack, Coe-Brown, and Winnicott.
Yeah, please ask Stan. Let me know and I'll announce it.
This is the handoff to the second leg. In our steeplechase relay.
It's like that girl from Merrimack Valley is not using her arms at all. It's got them like tucked under her armpit like she's carrying a football.
Again, this leg is now 2 laps, 800 meters.
Probably going to need a pretty good sized lead over Bishop Girton if Fisher's running in here.
Yeah.
She's pretty tough. So Coe-Brown's streak, is that still intact right now?
I believe last year they gave up the streak last year.
Make sure you get your T-shirts first of all, and
So I think their winning streak actually ended at nine consecutive. I'd have to double check that though.
Yep.
I mean, barring some miracle, it's certainly if it wasn't ended last year, it would be this year. I mean, when you get a big lead in this race, it's really tough for the other teams to come after you.
Right, because it's just you kind of lose your momentum.
Right, you can't really build up anything and hurdle unless you're an outstanding hurdler.
Results in the girls 4x100 meter shuttle hurdles.
Our boys team, I do remember one year we were behind maybe like 30 meters, and we had an outstanding 300-meter hurdler who was able to just clear the hurdles, with no problems at all, and he was able to chase down that first place kid. But you're talking about a kid who could run a 39.5 in the 300 hurdles, and he could run a 51 open 400.
Sometimes in this race too, it's really hard to watch someone go over hurdles that once they're tired.
Yeah.
And they don't know what they're doing. So
yeah. Bishop Girton looks like they're reeling in Merrimack Valley though.
Yeah, I would think Girton would be the favorite in this race.
Yeah. They're going into their first of 2 400s.
Third leg, the last 2 legs are 400 meters apiece.
See a lot of kinesio tape on athletes. And I wonder how much of that is just placebo and how much of that is just for show.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely works. And some injuries.
Okay, the weigh-in for the Buffalo relays are going to be held in the shot put area after the final heat of the 4x4.
Final heat of the 4x4?
Oh, so you got Fisher doing
That
400, huh?
That does look like Caroline Fisher.
The final check-in for the
She's a girl that can break 60 seconds in a
Yes.
regular quarter. So
Yeah, definitely.
So this lead,
See what she's got for hurdling skills.
I don't know.
Well, she's got to make up about 9 seconds on
Yeah.
Merrimack Valley.
That might have been one of the worst hurdlers I've ever seen. That last handoff.
Well, Merrimack Valley's closing with Caitlin Koval, who is a very good hurdler in her own right.
She isn't catching her.
No.
That's Merrimack Valley in first place on the back stretch.
Yeah.
I find it strange that she didn't run like the
1200
1200 pot in
yeah.
it, because I would think it would be a different.
Could be a different ball game.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot closer.
Yeah. Well, like in the DMR, you'd want your strongest kid in the longest leg.
But I know last week she didn't run at Cole Brown,
Nope.
so I think they were trying to figure out.
Merrimack
Get
Valley
National
getting
North
to the finish line.
invite, or the Nashua invite, she kind of collapsed after the 2 mile. I talked to her after that.
Merrimack
We
Valley
were
in
still
first.
trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
She's very strong. I mean, she's one of
Yep.
the best runners in New England.
Bedford heading down the final stretch in third.
That is. Bishop Girton is going to take second. Looks like Cole Brown is going to have third.
Winnicott at fourth.
Winnicott at fourth. Portsmouth fifth. And we're going to look around the turn to find our sixth place team. It looks like that's Sauhegan?
Bedford, isn't it? No, Bedford had red today.
Yeah. That's no, it's Bedford, but that's not their normal uniform.
Didn't they have the red earlier?
Yeah. So maybe that's their away jersey for the Steeplechase team.
Yeah.
Put those hurdles up.
All right, so now we get to see the boys Steeplechase.
110-meter shuttle hurdles. In fourth place, Merrimack, 112.88. Third place goes to Dover, 112.05.
So in the boys,
Second place,
we have
Memorial, 108.91.
Summersworth, Cole Brown, Kingswood, Merrimack, Exeter, Nashua North, Merrimack Valley, Portsmouth, and Bedford.
Now Kingswood coming in with a very fast seed time.
That's real fast.
Meet record 7:52.40 is is Pinkerton's, I believe, from 2015.
And then they're off. And the boys,
Yeah, for some reason, Kingswood does put out some good relay teams.
Yeah.
the top three seeds in here are Kingswood.
So
Portsmouth,
this 1200 leg, they don't have to run that first barrier. They take a little bit of pity on them, and they don't put it out till the second lap. So in this race, it's all about finding that rhythm. See a lot of these guys, not very experienced
the first and
hurdlers,
second call for the girls,
jumping pretty
4x2.
high over those.
First and second call, 4x2 girls.
But finding a rhythm where you're not speeding up and slowing down too much.
So it's
It's David Reynolds
David
from Merrimack
Reynolds.
Valley.
how do you know it's David? How do you know it's not
Well,
his brother?
I guess I don't.
No, we don't. We're
Except
just taking a
except
chance.
that I know David was wearing those colored shoes,
Yeah.
and his brother had a different color.
Do you bet when his mom, and when they get up in the morning, his mom and dad don't even know who they are?
They probably put a marker on them
sticker.
at some point in their lives so they could tell the difference.
One more time.
Little tattoo maybe when they went to the doctors
Yeah.
at a young age.
Well, I can tell you right now, David Reynolds has turned into a very, very good runner.
He has.
And I'm sure if it, like most twins, the other one tends to equal out in a lot
Other
of it.
ways, yeah.
I cannot believe how many times I've looked at results over the years and seen two twins like right together every single
Yeah.
time. Like the Robitaille. You watch.
Yes,
You,
yeah.
You watch what Corinne Robitaille does.
Although the two of them seem to split up different events.
Yeah.
I noticed that Corinne tends more to the shorter events. But when you watch the two of them run an 800, I think it's it's even money who's going to win that race.
Right. I don't think Julia wants to be sitting around and trying to outkick her sister.
No, I don't think
'Cause
so.
that could be. That's going to be interesting in cross country next year.
Yeah.
Win this first leg 3 times around for the boys.
I mean, it does kind of answer that question, though. Are athletes born or made? Because being identical twins, they should be, based on their genetics, they should be identical in terms of their abilities.
Right.
So there's something to be said about the being made part.
Second place goes to
I mean, I look at them, and the way I can tell them apart when I'm watching them run, and if she's listening, I actually think Corinne's got better form than Julia.
I agree.
You know, not that Julia's bad. Julia's got the best smile in the state.
Yeah.
Well,
I think by virtue of the events that Corinne runs, her form needs to be more
right.
efficient.
That's what's happened, I think.
Yeah. Julia can let her strength and endurance make up for that. And she can put more of her effort into just getting stronger.
If you look at their arms, Corinne definitely uses her arms more than Julia does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, David Reynolds, he's got a decent lead.
He's about to hand off to his brother.
Yep. But Kingswood's next runner is Wyatt Poole. Pooler, and he just ran a 1:59 this weekend, so it was the first time he's ever broken two.
Yep.
So.
With results in the boys 4x100. In sixth place, Nashua South, 46.1. Fifth place goes to Exeter, 46.08.
His stride looks really strong,
45.5.
Poolers.
Third goes to Wyndham.
Oh, that was
You
unfortunate.
see how much momentum you lose, though?
Yeah.
When you're doing that?
44.46.
Actually, Porter Higas looked the best out of those three going through them.
With a time of 44.37.
If you could just keep your feet moving in the direction they want to, instead of karate kicking like Pooler's doing.
He's cut into the lead a little bit.
Yeah. He's working a lot harder though to get over those hurdles. And he's got to engage every muscle in his core.
Yeah.
And most of his leg muscles.
I'm surprised if Porter Higas gets Cole Brown right back in this race.
Yeah.
He's just a strong kid.
And Wyatt Pooler's strategy is just to get the speed in between the hurdles and just chuck himself over the barrier.
This is the third and final call for the girls 4x2. First call for the boys 4x2.
Poole's got him in his sights now.
He does.
And once you get to that certain point where you've got the
he went inside the hurdle, almost off the track with that one.
Pains me to watch guys that can't hurdle.
He's going to catch him, though.
Yeah, he'll catch him, but watch this move.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good hurdle.
If he gets over it.
He's going to go through it.
Just barely.
I guess it's better than karate kicking
Reynolds'
jaw off.
But he just lost that lead, anything he had to Merrimack Valley in that hurdle. Now, when they're side by side, this is where we can see it.
But this is where the real.
Look at that. I mean, look at that gap that he gave up just in that hurdle clearance.
This is where I think the real steeple can come into play, though, because it's a lot easier to have a real steeple out there and just put your foot on and ride over the top.
Rather than hurdling over it.
Yeah, I think if the hurdle just kind of throws, it takes, because everybody wants to hurdle it.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Well, Merrimack Valley is now surging ahead of Kingswood.
Merrimack Valley back in the lead. This is the final leg, 400 meters.
Hard to watch.
Almost came to a complete stop.
So this Kingswood kid right here, he is a former Deerfield boy.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
Okay.
Brent Coop.
I call that last one it's the heartbreak
Oh my
hurdle.
God! Oh my God! Does anybody need a cord of wood right now? Because Coop just he's splitting wood out there.
Heartbreak hurdle.
He hit that thing so hard.
Oh,
not that hard though. Oh my God! This is just.
He got right back up.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
he did. He's still got 2 to go.
It's a wild, yeah.
You can't tell me he's a little gun shy now.
Still in the
Yeah.
lead.
Oh, he got over that one.
Man.
Wow.
Merrimack Valley.
Yeah.
Merrimack Valley pulling away now.
He's like, I'm going to get so much speed.
I know,
gotta
I
get
know.
this.
Stumbling.
Nice.
All right.
Put it up, and he pulls
Oh
it.
man, Kingswood got pat. Oh well.
No, that's-
Okay,
that's a
they're a
slump.
lap behind. Never mind.
In second.
I'll tell you what, those two guys are going to remember those two hurdles
Oh yeah.
tonight.
Oh, especially that
Portsmouth in fourth.
hurdle right before the 200 where Merrimack Valley just went down.
That was beautiful. Well, that's, to me, that's the most painful thing to watch. A guy
Yeah.
that can't
Yeah.
hurdle when he's tired.
Right.
You know, it's a death march.
And if you really want to see awkward hurdling, you should check out the decathlon at the end of June in Nashua.
And there's Bedford finishing up.
Yeah. It's like Memorial will be or Merrimack rather. I think it's our last team in.
All right, so next on the track
Do your thing.
will be the girls 4x200.
We have results in the girls' distance medley steeple.
And there'll be
In sixth place, it's Bedford,
3 heats.
10:21.99. Fifth goes to Portsmouth, 10:02.59.
the first heat will be Dover,
Is Winnicott,
Merrimack Valley,
9:58.1.
Exeter, and Nashua North.
Third goes to Co-Brown, 9:53.08. In second place, Bishop Girton, 9:41.97.
The girls' record is
And the winner of the girls'
147.3.
distance medley steeple, with a time of 9:32.09, it's Merrimack Valley. Next up on the track will be the girls 4x200, and this is the final call for the boys 4x200.
Looks like we've only got
For the 4x200.
3 of our teams out there. Somebody is not.
With a time of 147.3.
It's like
It was
Nashua
Bishop
North. It's not out there. They may have headed home to beat the rain. They're off. So Merrimack Valley putting together 2 wins there on the boys and girls steeple.
Yeah, I kind of felt that Merrimack Valley would be strong on the boys' side. I wasn't really buying into the times.
Yeah.
In this section, we
I don't know.
Dover,
Merrimack-
Valley, Exeter, and Nashua.
Merrimack had one of the fastest times, and they were so far back. It was-
Yeah, right. Yeah, their seed time was one of the slower ones, actually.
Right.
But again, it's not how you seed it, it's how you finish.
That's right, exactly.
This is Exeter out to a huge lead in this 4x2.
That's Exeter in the lead with one more lap to go. We have results in the boys' distance
So those
medley
runners get to
steeplechase.
cut in after
In sixth place, Exeter,
second leg.
8:53.57. Fifth goes to Somersworth, 8:44.87. Third goes to Co-Brown.
Again, this is on another one of those relay teams that really favors the teams that have a big, deep team,
8:30.15.
like
In
the
third,
Bedfords,
Co-Brown,
Nashua Norths,
8:13.06. Second goes to
Pinkertons.
Kingswood, 8:08.93.
When do you get to cut in on this?
After the second leg. So the first 2 runners are in lanes.
Yeah, because they stayed in their lanes on that one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they didn't get the memo. They're all right now.
Yeah, they're okay now. Exeter cut right in, and the other teams may not have known that they could cut in.
This is Exeter. winning the
154. 10 seconds better than their
Dover
seed
in
time.
second.
Dover and Merrimack Valley.
So in this heat, we got Kingswood, Bedford, Pelham, Cole Brown, Winnicott, and Spalding.
Yeah, so now they, okay, so they were trying to make photocopies down there, but they can just hang these up on the wall, right? They thought that they needed to bring these up to you because they didn't know we were already bringing them up.
Yeah, you guys already are. I got a bunch of duplicates.
Oh, so can I just take the ones that are duplicates?
Absolutely.
So, because they were trying to make photocopies to hang up.
Those are all duplicates.
This is where your relay team kind of gets stretched too, because you have 4
Yeah.
by 200, then you go to 4 by 400.
And you've had a 4x1 already.
Yeah.
And you've potentially used some of your kids in the steeple or in the DMR.
Right.
They have been trying to keep track here. So girls javelin, here's I got an extra of that too. Girls shot put, boys shot put, girls jab.
Yeah, it's tough, even unless you've got a really, really deep, strong team with a lot of, like, quarter milers. This could be a tough meet format for your team.
Yeah.
In the second heat of the girls 4x2, we have
Is that
Kingswood,
Spalding in this heat?
Bedford,
Yep.
Pelham,
Yeah.
Cole Brown, Winnicott, and Spalding.
Been impressed with their boys and girls sprint relay handoffs. It looks as though they practice it quite a bit. Bedford's in a bit of a lead right now. It's I can't really tell whether the stagger is going to be made, but they're far enough ahead, I would say they've made up any stagger they started with.
We have results in the girls shot put.
Pelham
In
and
sixth
Spalding.
place, Dover. Fifth is Bedford. Fourth is Bishop Gurdon. Third is Exeter. Second.
Smell a bad
Portsmouth,
handoff there.
the girls
Yeah.
shot. And the winner of the
I
girls
don't
shot
even think
put,
they got the handoff
Steeple.
off. They didn't.
Who was that?
Spalding.
Spalding? Yeah.
You jinxed them.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what the. I don't know.
You mentioned the tent and the T-shirts again. Thank you.
As a reminder, if you're a winning team, make sure you pick up your.
So we'll call that the
t-shirts
Zinc
behind the
jinx.
concession stand and report into the
he was,
Runners Alley
oops.
tent.
Admiring Spalding. They must
Yeah.
have heard him or something.
And if you're in,
Mike O'Brien was listening to this live,
I don't know.
even though we're not
yeah.
uploading it live.
pick up your
I don't know if they were running so fast that the baton heated up and the
Yeah.
girl burnt her hand.
It
or
was
something.
so hot she couldn't grab the baton. Pelham now passing ahead of Bedford.
right ahead of Bedford is Pelham and
Nice. Nice
Bedford
finish.
second. Take Spalding in third.
So this should be our fast heat. We've got
Nashua South,
In the boys shot,
Merrimack, Manchester
winning team
Memorial,
is- in
Portsmouth,
sixth place is
Milford,
Portsmouth.
and St. Thomas Aquinas.
Fifth is Merrimack.
I'd be willing to bet that Manchester Memorial seed time is probably
Second, Milford.
their 4x160 seed time from the winter season,
Yeah, I would say so.
because they're 20 seconds faster than everyone else, and also faster than most of our boys teams that are in the 4x2.
You want to mention anybody's good handoffs now?
I'll wait. I'll wait.
In the third and final section of the girls 4x2, we have.
That's the way it always goes. When you're watching basketball on television,
Yeah.
and they say,
Yeah.
"Oh, this guy's 94%," and then
Yeah,
doink,
and then the
doink.
next one he misses.
It's like, why do you even say that?
Or, I was watching the Bruins game last night, and they kept talking about the Tampa Bay's top line. Didn't score any goals in the first two games, and, what do you know? They score the first two goals of the game.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah, game was tough to watch. I
it
stopped
was.
watching after the
Yeah.
second period.
We have results in the girls javelin. In sixth place, Bedford. Fifth goes to Exeter. In fourth, Winnicott. Third, Milford. Second, Portsmouth. And the winner of the javelin, Merrimack Valley. The girls javelin, Merrimack Valley.
It's like they're still pretty evenly spaced, although Again, can't really tell with these staggers.
This is where you usually can tell right here.
Yeah, when they come
Bang.
off.
Let's say Nashville South.
Yeah, slight lead over Portsmouth and St. Thomas. Portsmouth and St. Thomas leading. Oh, Portsmouth had a dropped baton. Looks like they stopped running.
Yep. So Portsmouth's out of it.
So it's South and St. Thomas and Portsmouth. Portsmouth. Oh, they did. They went back for the baton, I guess.
This is the first call for
Thought
the
they had
girls,
dropped
4
it.
by 400. First call, girls, 4 by 4. Heading down the final stretch, this is South.
It's Nashua South, followed by St. Thomas,
Thomas in
Portsmouth.
second, and this is Portsmouth closing in third.
Cindy Lewis.
Is that for Nashua?
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, so that was a good one. They won by quite a bit.
Yeah.
They've had a good, strong sprinting team for quite a while now.
I know at the last Meet of Champions, you had seen a couple of your former competitors now having kids in some of these bigger schools in the south of the state.
Yeah, John Choate, his daughter, really
Next up on the
fast.
track is the
That's
boys
what's happening
4
now,
by
you know.
400.
The kids of the competitors are all pretty good. Like
Yeah.
Meet record in
Winslow
the
and I
4
were
by 200 was set
battling. Now
last
my
year
son
by
and his
Winnicott.
son are battling.
Time of 131.61.
That's just kinda weird. You look back
Yep.
on it.
Norm Kennedy's daughter, Corinne,
Yeah,
is
she
doing
was
really well.
She was as good as anybody. She had it on both sides. Father was awesome. Mother was awesome.
Yeah.
It's probably why Patrick O'Brien is.
Well, I was going to say Patrick
know,
and
Andy
Andy are
O'Brien.
both
Yep.
got pretty good pedigree.
My son only gets it from his mother.
The talent, anyway, the looks from
Yeah.
you.
No, I don't know. Some days I'm not even sure he's my kid. But it is funny though to see.
The names come back around. Yeah.
In this heat, the first of 3, it's Somersworth, Pelham, St. Thomas, and Merrimack Valley.
So in this heat, we got Somersworth, Pelham, St. Thomas Aquinas, and Merrimack Valley.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Ooh. It's tough to watch some of these handoffs.
So they're copied.
And the record was set last year, 2017, by Winnicott.
Bill
130
Powers team,
Yep.
131.
Yeah, they were loaded last year
Yeah.
with sprinters.
Yeah.
Sprinters and long jumpers, hurdlers.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Take care.
In fairness to a lot of these kids, they probably don't do handoffs all that often.
Now, if I was coach, I would make sure every
Third and
kid
second,
handed
this
off
is
the same way,
second call
Right.
for the
right
girls,
down the
4
line,
by
so
4.
everybody's interchangeable. You know what I mean? I was talking.
So your 4x8 hands off the same way your 4x1 does.
Yeah, because let's get it right, and
Yeah.
it goes a long ways. I know our coach was that way about us. You know, you needed to know how to do a handoff no matter
Right.
what,
Right.
because you were expected to run a relay if you had to run a relay.
Yep.
And it was
I mean, one of the trends that I'm seeing, not so much with, some of the bigger teams, but I think some of the smaller teams where, maybe the one or two of the kids are really outstanding is they just become specialists and they don't, they don't do a lot of other events. They do their 1 or 2 events, and that's it.
Right.
In sixth place, Portsmouth with a time of 1:55.63. Fifth with the
I
same
do like the
time,
way the state championship's set up now with the automatic that,
Fourth goes to
if
Bedford,
you're on a team that's
154.38.
battling to win,
In third, Exeter.
you don't hurt your chances of going to the meet of champions
Right.
following week. And I
Right.
think
No, that was a change. That was a change that was needed.
it was.
It was needed years and years ago, but it just never was made.
No, I said that because I was always on a team that was battling for state championships,
Yeah,
and so you had to run. You always
3 or
doubled.
4 events.
You
right.
always had to run 3 or 4 events.
Yeah.
Bottom line, and you end up sacrificing. And my best event was a 2-mile, not the mile. So it was one of those things you kind of sacrifice yourself for the team.
Yeah.
But
In this heat, we have
it was always a risk making the meet of champions.
Richardson Memorial,
Right.
Co-Brown, and Kingswood.
So the way they have it now, I think, is a lot better.
Oh, and it makes the meet better overall because you got the best kids in there.
Right, and that's one of my gripes about indoors is, you got 2 different meets, and you're taking the top 6 times. Well, bottom line is, it would be better to have a meet of champions and settle
Right.
it that way because some races are just it's
Well,
a big advantage for the team for the division that goes second.
Right.
For one thing,
Right.
they
Right.
see the time.
Well, in in Larry Martin's defense, he does switch up who goes first
Right.
from year to year. But you're right in that, if let's say Division I's really stacked in one particular event, and the guys at the top are all competing for a team title, they're not going to want to take it out hard because they've got other races later in the day. So they back off, and a bunch of the D2 guys go faster, even though they're not necessarily the faster runners.
Bedford's ripping this one up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that's one of my 2 big gripes about indoors. The other one is waiting a month for the New Englands.
Yeah.
It's just
Well, we've heard that could be possibly changing now with Phillips Exeter entering into the picture.
right.
That they have talked about pushing back the state meet and possibly, filling 1 or 2 of those weekends in between the state meet and New England's.
It
There
wouldn't be bad if there was some other invitationals that were around
Right.
that were
Well, that
good,
was
but-
the idea was that
Final stretch, gonna
Phillips Exeter
tight
needs
race for second place.
Bedford took that one.
by
Dover
a
in
lot.
second.
Phillips Exeter needs those meets because their season is a different finishing time than the New Hampshire, the NHIA one. So they need somebody to race against. So the idea was put forth, maybe taking those kids from the state meet
Results in the
and having them
boys
run
in fourth place.
in one of those weeks or maybe 2 of the weeks in between state meet and New England's, letting them race, against the Phillips Exeter kids and any of the other prep school kids that wanted to come. Not making it like a meet that is scored or anything, just letting them race.
Up now is the third in the seeded heat of the boys 4x2.
All right, in this third heat, we have Merrimack, Winnicott, Spalding, Nashua South, Exeter, and Portsmouth.
So I'll take back my
You wanna-
comment during the girls 4x2.
You want to jinx Spalding right now? Spalding's the number 1 seed in this race.
Okay.
Coming in with a 120.84. Which is only like 11 seconds faster than the record, but I don't know.
Yeah, that to me is probably also a 4x.
Yep.
Spalding and Nashua both, I think, entered 4x2, 4x160 times from the spring, from the indoor season.
Winnicott's got a 130
Yeah.
In here, so we'll see.
Spalding's
what
got a
happens.
120. So let's see.
That power's right there.
No.
I think they took them down to hang them up. Nope, I'm sorry, here they are. You expect me to read this? Oh, you want me to read it to you? I can do that.
So Winnicott's got the
Yep.
early lead.
Yep. Trailed by Merrimack and Exeter.
Final heat of the 4x2.
I don't see Billy Powers.
It's kind of a long handoff there. So
Yeah.
now we're back. There goes Winnicott.
This is the second call for the boys.
Although, look out at that guy
Look at
there
this
in lane 1.
acceleration.
Last call for the girls. All girls 4x4
He usually wears
teams should have checked
spandex.
in by now, but if you haven't, please do.
Oh, Merrimack's in head now.
Yeah, that was a great leg. This would be a good heat right here, though.
It's going to be a close finish. It's not Billy Powers.
Got a battle heading down to the wire here.
That's
Winnicott.
Powers right there.
Oh, it is. You're right.
Wow, it was
Wow.
close.
132.
Yeah, I think he would have done better if there was a couple hurdles in there in his way. But I think he closed and got him.
It's all right. Nice job. Just make sure I got it to you.
That was the last heat of that, right?
Yep.
What we got next? The girls
Next up on
4x4.
track is the girls 4x4.
All right, so we have the girls 4x4.
The lead record in the girls 4x4, back from 1999, was set by Nashua with a time of 4:02.
4:02. It's a stout time.
Hand time.
Yep, 402.7. So we have 3 heats.
Yep.
First heat, we got Merrimack, Merrimack Valley, Goffstown, and Spalding.
There are 3 heats in the girls 4x4. In the first heat, we have Merrimack, Merrimack Valley, Goffstown, and Spalding. We have results in the girls discus throw. In 6th place, Exeter. 5th place, Winnicott. 4th, Portsmouth. In 3rd, Dover. 2nd, Sanborn.
You can tell it's still springtime. It's not really summertime yet because once that sun went down, it got chilly pretty quick here.
So what's nice about running on the coast, though, it's
Cools off.
it's always cool. Hampton
Yeah.
and Portsmouth,
Yeah.
you know, it's nice.
They're off.
First heat of the girls 4x4. We have results in the boys triple jump. In 6th place, Merrimack. 5th place, Portsmouth. 4th goes to Goffstown. In 3rd, Exeter. 2nd was Bedford. And the winner of the boys triple jump, Manchester Milwaukee.
So 4x4, always important to get out to a good lead.
I would love those. Thank you.
You don't want to get caught in that handoff. Get out ahead of everyone, and then you can have a clean handoff. Be safe.
And we have results in the boys 4x4.
There's only 4 teams on the track right now, but when you get 6 or 8 teams doing a 4x4 handoff,
5th goes to Portsmouth,
things can
137.59.
go to pot pretty quickly.
4th is Exeter, 137.04. And 3rd, Bedford, 136.28.
This is
Second
Merrimack,
goes to Winnicott,
followed by Merrimack Valley,
135.40.
Spalding, and Goffstown.
200 to the second. The winner of the 4x200 is Merrimack, 134.38.
So you mentioned that your coach always wanted you guys handing off the same. I believe that every single 4x4 team that I see nowadays does the sidestep shuffle before they receive the handoff.
Yep.
Very few of them run straight ahead and reach back with their hands.
Yeah, so a lot of things have changed.
Yeah,
4th went to Somersworth.
but I don't know that I necessarily
Merrimack. In
Agree with it?
advocate for that sidestep shuffle. I think
Yeah.
there's a good chance that you're going to trip over your own feet.
Right. I prefer the old way. And we always had blind handoffs, too. It was up to the guy to get it into your hand. You put
Right.
your hand back,
Yep.
it will be there, but be moving. Because, it's like we said last week, it's always faster to be already moving.
Right.
That's why you see, if you break down like a 4x100 on the national level or the Olympics, you always see how fast these guys are really going.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a bunch of Usain Bolts right there because they're already moving.
Right.
Their split times are
Yeah, and their open 100 times are, what, a tenth of a second difference, if that.
Right.
And you can see the relay wins can be several tenths of a second between first, second, and third.
Exactly.
So, their mistakes are amplified by those bad handoffs, and their speed suffers with those bad handoffs.
And there's nothing more frustrating is to be the anchor leg and never have the baton come around you.
Yeah, right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Or you get the baton and you're so far behind, there's no possible chance you can do anything about it. You were talking about Jeremy Broussard last weekend, and I can't tell you the number of 4x4 relays. He took the baton, and he was 30, 40, 50 meters back, and you knew that as fast as he wasn't going to be able to catch anybody.
Exactly.
You might be able to run a 50-point, but you're not going to beat somebody who runs a 54 when you give up 8 seconds to him.
Right.
Stan, it's only boys Buffalo, right?
I should say that's first call.
This looks like Merrimack Valley and Spalding now 1 and 2. Did we have a team drop out? There's number 4. Okay. Yeah, I like to see the straight ahead running handoffs. Even if not fully blind, if your feet are moving down the direction of the track, I think that's faster. Because you think you gotta shuffle to the side, and then you've got to turn your body and run around the track. And if you're already headed in that direction, it saves a little bit of your speed. So we got Goffstown and Merrimack.
So Spalding took that one.
Yep. Notice I didn't say anything about their handoffs.
Okay, in the second heat, we have Dover, St. Thomas, Winnacunnet, Nashua North, Milford, Exeter.
Pretty evenly matched seed times. 4:27 to 4:34.
Next up on track is the second heat of the girls 4x8.
And these seed times may not have been run by the teams actually on the track, so 4x4, 4x1, 4x2 handoff seed time or relay seed times don't always mean a whole lot.
Yeah, Pinkerton had a good 4x4 down at Penn Relays. They're in a 3:27.
Yeah.
Down there. That's what actually what the record is here. A good quality time.
Yep. It just makes you appreciate that state record 3:23.
Yeah, that's ripping.
That's ripping. Heat number 2
Again, this is the second of
underway.
three in the girls 4x4.
So Nashua North's brought like 4 different uniforms to this meet, I think.
Keep you on your toes.
So it's Exeter and Milford.
Now, did Becca Durham, did she run tonight?
She ran the
4x8?
second leg or the third leg of their 4x8, yeah.
They must have won, huh?
No. No, who won the 4x8 in the girls' side? Kai, do you have any of the results still, or did you give those all back after you read them off?
They took them.
They took
They
them.
needed.
Remember who won the girls' 4x8?
Was it Girton?
Was it Bishop Girton?
Must have been Girton.
I think it was Girton, because I'm pretty sure Caroline Fisher was in it.
Oh yeah. She.
think it was.
She hauled it in.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, I think it was Girton.
Are we ready for the Buffalo weigh-in?
Wouldn't be surprised to see Rebecca Durham, though, anchoring this 4x4 from Milford.
Yep, she is.
Yep.
I don't think she'll give up that lead.
No.
She's tough.
You guys know if we're ready for the Buffalo relay weigh-in?
I know she really earned your respect at that state meet last year.
She's earned it a bunch of times. she's tough.
Yeah.
When she's on her game, she is about as tough can be. And I know she's had a few injuries and everything else, but boy, when she's ready, she's bound and determined to.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got all the faculties going the right way. She's. Remember that 2 mile though?
Oh,
that was a
that
great
was
double.
that was fantastic. Yeah. She played both of them just right.
Great, thanks. Just let me know when the scale's ready. What's that?
It's the right combination of strength, determination, and
If I read them or not.
running smarts.
Put the results back down. If it's not posted.
She's fading right now though.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yikes.
Fading hard.
Yeah.
She didn't give it up.
Nope.
Might be the shack by the finish line. And if it's not posted, I have.
She did her job, though. She kept
Yeah.
the lead, gave it to her teammate.
Closing hard though.
Yeah. Yeah, Exeter can smell some blood in the water. And North's coming pretty hard on her heels, too.
Ooh, it's going to be a
Yeah,
tight
North,
finish.
North's going to make this a really close finish between all three of these teams.
Last curve here, we have 3 teams in contention. This is the second of
Wow.
Wow.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
4x4.
Milford and Exeter going head toe-to-toe right now.
Followed closely by Exeter. And Nashville
Say-
North
Looks
right
like it's
now
going to be
is
Milford,
third.
though.
Milford
Milford,
in that order.
Exeter, North. Great race. Here, Winnicott's going to make it exciting for 4th place in this heat. Sneaking ahead of Dover.
All right, this next heat, final heat, Manchester Memorial, Bishop Girton,
Just a
Bedford,
reminder, if
Co-Brown,
you're interested in a New Hampshire
Portsmouth,
track and field t-shirt,
and Nashua
there's a sale
South.
in the Runners Alley tent down
Probably
at
expect
Downtown.
Caroline Fisher to be part of this, too.
Again, all teams, if you're in 2nd through 6th place, you can pick up your ribbons down at the back of the concession stand. If you're the 1st place team, you get t-shirts.
I do see her striding down the
Those first
straightaway.
place teams, don't forget to report into the Runners Alley tent.
So no
Have
Girton boys
the
today,
ribbon.
just Girton girls?
Yeah, just the Girton
Okay,
girls.
next is the fast- the
No
senior
Memorial
section,
boys
the
either,
section of
just
the girls
Memorial
4x4.
girls.
And here we have Merrimack.
No, there's Memorial boys right here.
Oh, there. Oh, you're right. Yeah, there are.
Bedford, Co-Brown, Portsmouth, and Nashua South. There's some closely seated teams in here. It could be a very interesting race.
Looks like Portsmouth is going to take it out really hard in this first 200 meters. Bedford, though, is right there with them. Oh, Bedford's going right to the lead. They're not going to waste any time. Perennially one of the best girls 4x4 teams in the state, Bedford usually has. That's Memorial on the inside in lane 1.
Back.
And Portsmouth in lane 5.
Wow, pretty close.
Yeah, Bedford with a good handoff.
So Bedford had a really good handoff. The other
Yep.
two,
Decent,
at
not
that, yeah.
not great, not terrible, but not great. I noticed. I think Bedford did a running forward handoff rather than a sidestep.
yeah, I gave them the signal. I said, hey, just try this. Zink said it'll work. So Bedford's holding
Memorial,
on to the
yep,
lead.
yep.
Memorial's closing.
She can't get that baton to her teammate fast enough, though. Oh, not very good handoff there for Bedford. Third runner kind of got that one flat-footed. Portsmouth moving into second place, ahead of Memorial, rather.
Wow.
Nashua South making up a lot of ground in that second leg. They've moved up into third place now. Bishop Girton not totally out of it, but they got a lot of ground to make up for. I believe that's Caroline Fisher is going to anchor for them. So maybe without the hurdles, Caroline can make this happen. She's got a lot of ground to make up. Bedford and Portsmouth, though, still 1 and 2.
Third place is Bedford at the handoff. This is the anchor leg. Bedford followed by Portsmouth.
7-second lead over Carolyn, so
Yeah, she's
not
got
making
work.
that up.
She might be able to catch Portsmouth.
She'll pull into third.
Yeah. Well, they're going to both eat up Nashua North.
Actually,
South, rather, sorry. Can she get around the Memorial team? Bedford coming onto the straightaway. Pretty comfortable lead for them.
Portsmouth is trying to hold on to second place.
Oh, she looked over her shoulder.
She's running for 4. Bedford wins that
Yeah.
one. Portsmouth looks like it's going to be
4:08.
second.
Portsmouth second. Memorial, then Girton.
South.
Oh, and
Bedford, Portsmouth.
the Girton coaching staff pulling Caroline Fisher off the track,
Memorial, and then Girton.
Yeah, she's been
And-
doing this a lot.
putting her right onto the ground.
Do we have the scale down there?
Not sure what strategy that is. I would probably let my athlete finish the race and walk off on their own power.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is there. She keeps doing this every race where she really depletes herself.
This is the final call for the Buffalo relay.
But she throws everything into
Yeah.
it. So
And the weigh-in is going to be down in the shot put area. I don't know if they yet have
Looked
the
like her
scale.
coach grabbed her around the
Go
waist,
shot
though, and
put
kind
area.
of just like yanked her off the track.
I used to have a kid barf. He used to barf before and after races and whatever. But he was so good.
Yeah.
I didn't care what he did.
The boys 4x4.
All right, so we have 3 heats here: St. Thomas, Pelham, and Somersworth.
All right. I had a teammate in high school who used to throw up after every single race. Didn't matter what it was. Go straight to a trash can.
It's throwing up's an awful feeling too. So
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's really
No.
it's not good for you either.
No, you always knew that it wasn't something he was trying to do.
Right.
It was just something he would, the side effect of putting that much into your races. And this kid was a sprinter, so he'd be doing like 3 or 4 races a day. So he was throwing up 3 or 4 times a day.
St. Thomas in the lead right now.
All right, what do you got?
Go. Oh, I don't think that Summersworth runner got the message that you can cut into lane 1 after you get the handoff because he's still out in lane 4.
Still out there, huh?
Girls
Yeah.
pole vault,
That's all right. I mean,
Manchester Memorial. 4th place, Bedford.
It's 8
it's less. The track's probably less
8
worn out there.
extra meters per lap in
Yeah, look at that.
every lane you go out from lane 1.
Right.
Londonderry.
So he's out in lane 4, so he's running an extra 32 meters.
Yeah, it's too bad, but I'm sure his coach will remind him. Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure he ran the full 400. Now he's going to sprint like mad down the last straightaway. His teammates aren't helping him out. They're not telling him to cut in. Nope, now he is, because he's running towards where his teammate's standing in lane 1.
In his first heat of the 4x4.
Come on, guys. You got to help your teammate out. You got to tell him to cut in.
That was a decent 500.
In 6th place, Milford, 419.34.
Attention to detail.
Place,
Yeah.
Nashua South, 418.01. In 4th place, Bishop Girton, 416.
I mean, most of us try to run, the least amount of distance we can.
Yeah.
So if it's 400, we want to run a 400.
2nd place, Portsmouth,
I commend him for wanting to make sure he ran
and the winner of the
that
girls'
400 plus a little bit
4x4
more.
with a time of 4:11.24. Bedford.
But he did have the coolest headband.
He did. He did have the coolest headband.
Oh, this kid's
St.
headband's
Thomas has
pretty
got a
good, too.
headband, too. It's not bad. This is
One lap
a
to go.
tricolor
Still
headband.
St. Thomas in first, followed by Pelham and Somersville.
Oh, this is one of those handoffs where the kid running in runs past his teammate, has to reach behind him to give him the baton.
And the other one drills you in the chest with it.
He'll reach behind, baton pass. Pelham's going to make a race out of this. Looks like it's Cameron Starr.
Thomas heading for the finish line with Pelham hot in pursuit.
Is that really Cam
Or
Starr?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Wow.
Made it close.
Oh, he
Whoa.
wiped out.
Whoa.
Nice.
Summersworth in 3rd.
Nice burn.
I think that is Cam Starr.
He put everything into that.
Yeah. Saved himself for that 400.
I'll remember that tomorrow sitting in school. In Ragburn.
Yeah.
It was this black
Looked
stuff
like
all.
his shoulder was a little chewed up right there.
Next up in the 4x4, the boys 4x4. This is the last scoring event of the meet.
All right, in this heat we got Nashua North, Spalding, Dover, Cole Brown, Nashua South,
Dover,
and Portsmouth.
Cole Brown,
Those
Nashua
track
North,
burns, it's like floor burn from a gymnasium, but
Right.
then you got the rubber and dirt that go into it.
We have results in the boys discus throw. In 6th place, Manchester Memorial. 5th, Merrimack. 4th is Milford. In 3rd, Cole Brown. 2nd goes to Portsmouth. And the winner of the boys
Always like to
discus
see the
throw
guys
relay
using the blocks for the 4x4. Girls, too, for that matter.
Did Orion compete today?
I believe he did.
He did.
He probably was doing javelin, discus, and maybe long jump.
Would he have a hamstring issue or something?
No, he's okay now. He had a little bit of a hamstring issue at Black Bear. That's Portsmouth.
One end of one leg. It's
Good
Portsmouth
handoff.
First.
Whoop.
See if Max Island can reel him in.
Yeah.
More, huh?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Doing a great job getting your miles in, too.
Oh, I know, right? Might tell Coach you need to take the day off.
Yeah, I think you might need one tomorrow.
He's
Gonna
gonna
be
reel
handing
him.
off to Vorbach.
Down the final stretch up to the leg two.
Oh,
It's
he's gonna
Portsmouth
get
followed
really
very
close.
closely by Nashua North.
North had a good handoff. Vorbach really made him extend for that one.
Tell you what, Vorbach's got a good stride.
He does. And he ran a 2 flat in his 4x8, so we know he's got speed. He runs very efficiently.
Yeah, he's decent. He uses everything. He's got all the power.
Yep.
Going into the ankle leg. we
See what-
have Nashua
Gonna
North,
hand that
See
off.
what he's got left.
followed by Portsmouth.
Good handoff there from
Yeah,
North,
He
too.
didn't even look like he was tired.
No.
This is going to be a good race for you.
This will be a good race.
That Higas running another
That's
lap?
Higas, yep.
Jeez, he is
Running
tough.
another 400.
Dover kid's coming on hard, too.
Yep.
But you got to make your money going into the turn,
Yeah.
before the turn.
Yeah, you do.
It's going to be hard to catch.
Down the final stretch is Nashua North pulling away.
Yep. It's Portsmouth.
So
Dover,
National North,
Cole Brown.
Portsmouth, Dover.
Followed by Dover.
Higas is hanging right in there.
Yeah.
There's Cole Brown in fourth.
Yeah, he has poise beyond his years. He's only a
gonna be
freshman,
good.
but he
Yeah.
runs like he's a senior.
He missed all the cross country season, but so
Yep.
they'll have him back next year. He's a very good cross country runner too.
Yep.
Finished second in the
Okay, up
state
next is our last
Division III
heat in our
championships
last scoring event.
as an
It's
8th
the,
grader.
Yep.
Third of 3 heats in the boys 4x4.
Behind his teammate,
In this heat, we have Merrimack Valley, Winnicott, Bedford,
Yeah, some
who's a true distance runner.
Merrimack,
right.
and Manchester Memorial.
I'll tell you, if it ever came down to a kick, I'd put my money on Higas
I
in
would
that
too.
race.
I would too.
So we got Merrimack Valley, Winnicott, Bedford, Exeter, Merrimack, and Manchester Memorial.
Yep.
Yeah,
100 meters, yeah, I'd put it on
Higgins,
Higas, but in a 5K,
Yep.
there's no question
Little Cox.
that Aiden Cox
Yeah,
is
he's tough.
is the superior
They're quick.
distance runner.
And the gun is up on the last heat of the boys 4x4.
So see what we got in this
Make sure you
race.
Stick around because a lot of fun yet to be had. We have the
Be interesting to
Buffalo
see if they
Relay
use
next,
Powers in this
followed
4x4
by
as
the
well. They
Chicken
used him
Dance.
in the 4x2 earlier.
So this is, I would say, the final call for the Buffalo Relay. Second call for the Chicken Dance.
Again, we see Bedford and Winnicott, both very deep teams.
Bedford's got the early lead.
Yep.
Bedford right now.
That's Memorial in lane 5, and Exeter, Merrimack Valley, and Winnicott.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat Bedford.
Yeah.
You got Vero and Aiden Kenny. Well, then close the gap up a little bit and make it a race. You never know. That's the only thing about being out in front.
Yeah.
They can see you, but you can't
Yep.
see them.
Yep. Look at Winnicott. Very strong second runner. Second leg.
Yeah, I'd say Winnicott is not using all their young kids.
No.
Because they have the freshman sophomore meet on Saturday.
Still in the lead. If he's anything but decided now.
They're an
Look
up
at that, though.
Looks like
They're an up-and-coming team.
Yeah.
On his shoulder.
Winnicott moves right to Bedford's shoulder. So
Developing here, everybody.
just like that, Bedford's big lead evaporates. And now 4 teams have passed them.
Still have 5 teams in contention.
It's a good race.
Yep.
So who we got finishing?
Merrimack
up
now has moved into first. Winnicott right behind them.
Coming off the final curve, it's Winnicott surging to the lead.
And if I am not mistaken, that is Billy Powers who's going to be anchoring their 4x4.
Say that again?
Oh, the official is standing in lane 1. That was a little bit of a mistake.
You want me to have them weigh in? Is that what you're saying?
Look how quick that lead got out there.
Yeah. He has a distinctive way of holding that baton, too. He kind of holds it in his fingers rather than making a fist around it.
Aiden Kenny's making a pretty good chase of it, though, from Bedford.
Yeah, Powers is cruising, though. He doesn't look like he's fully engaged.
He's not going to give that up.
No. Oh, get off the track. He's going to hit you.
Coming off the last curve, it's
Yeah.
Winnicott.
So smooth.
Billy Powers of Winnicott.
How can you give that up?
Yeah. 3:28.
3:28. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is a good time.
There, fast times. All right, next up on the track, it's the Buffalo Relay.
A rather fun event
Relay is a 4x1
that we get to see now. We don't have teams or heat sheets, but
is you have to be at least 200.
we have a Buffalo relay. So that means all members of this 4x100 reader relay team have to weigh in at 200 plus pounds.
Oh, I can make that.
All Buffalo Relay runners.
Give me another hoagie.
All Buffalo Relay runners to the shot put area.
And I dare say some of these shot putters, you might think they're slow, but they're deceptively fast.
Yeah.
Big, powerful athletes.
Fast twitch.
Yep.
Who was the injury you guys had a couple of years ago?
Will White. Yeah.
It was a shot putter, right?
One of the top shot putters in the division.
Yeah, I remember that. That was
Pulled a hamstring.
Yeah.
Yep.
I gotta.
The only thing, the throwers, they've got that strength and the fast twitch, but they don't like to warm up.
No, that's
That's their Achilles
that last
heel.
year?
If it
We were
was.
talk-
That was 2 years ago,
2
I
years
believe.
ago?
Yeah.
Fast twitch athletes.
Yeah. They the warm up routine for the throwers usually involves
Fun to watch.
taking their shoes and putting on their spinning shoes, and maybe picking up the shot once or twice, and then getting into the circle and hucking it.
All of our teams in the center of the field doing the chicken dance after the Buffalo.
They don't do a lot of jogging. They don't do a lot of drills and sprints.
Yeah, I saw a couple of those teams warming up for the Buffalo run, and they were taking it pretty seriously with those handoffs.
They're handing
Well,
off
if they
a-
were watching any of their teammates, their 4x1s or 4x2s, they knew the importance of those handoffs.
They weren't handing off a hot sausage sub, right?
Yeah.
Multiple heats in the four.
Do we have a
Oh, they get creative with their handoffs too, because you'll see
And they're off.
some of them will do like a head to tail handoff. Some of them do like a pirouette.
What's the deal with this guy? Like on his shoulders, running with the guy on his shoulders.
Well, apparently he needed the extra weight to make the 200-pound limit.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
He dropped somebody else. Is that what they do?
Well, I don't think they're stopping him. I wouldn't say that was what they intended this race to be like.
Oh my God! So how many heats of this we got? Like 5?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's Bedford.
That kid don't look 200 pounds.
No,
Fast looking team by Bedford right there.
no, definitely not.
He looked like pretty svelte. I don't know.
Yeah. He's a solid 165 or 170.
The arm swings here. Wow.
Nice golf stand.
Leading with the chin. I mean, these two together definitely weigh 100, 200 pounds, but the kid on his back he's got to be 80 pounds soaking wet.
Followed by
I think the guy in the
200
top would be whipping him like a horse.
You get results in the 4x4. In fourth place, the boys 4x4.
There's only one heat of that this year? Oh, no, okay, here we go.
3:39.23. In fifth place, Nashua North, 337.47.
I don't know. They said there was a weigh-in for this, but none of these guys look like they're 200 pounds.
Yeah, the Bedford kid didn't. He looked.
No. And, I mean, looking at the kid there in lane 1 from Somersworth, maybe?
Yeah, these guys.
I bet he's 160 at most. And the kid from Winnicott, definitely not 200 pounds either. So maybe they couldn't find enough 200-pounders and they had to reduce the weight limit.
Probably says it somewhere in the clause that
Yeah.
we reserve the right.
To alter the weight limit if need be. But it kind of goes to what I was saying at Black Bear about how there's, because there's so few football players now that are doing track, you don't see those 50-footers anymore.
Right.
And, as a result, you don't have as many 200-pounders anymore either. Because there's no distance runner I know that weighs 200 pounds. Very few sprinters either.
Although the kid that came in second place in New England this year, Riley Feenoff from Danville, Vermont.
Yeah.
He looked like a weight man.
Yeah.
He was so strong.
I mean, that
Look at this guy.
that guy's definitely 200.
Look at that, huh?
Wow, that's a
I mean, that Portsmouth kid, there's no way he's 200 pounds. No way.
You want to file a protest? Probably had a shot put in his hand. Both his hands
In
when he
his
stepped on the
pocket,
scales.
yeah.
And I believe that did it on the track.
Well, Ryan did that 2 years ago.
He did?
He ran with a backpack with shot puts in it
Oh, my God.
to make 200 pounds. So I guess we're not going to commentate the chicken dance.
No.
There's no point in that. So we'll leave on this note. Thanks for watching the 77th annual, 52nd annual Portsmouth Clipper Relays. This is NewHampshireTrackandField.com, powered by Runner's Alley, brought to you today by Bees Tees out of Keene, New Hampshire. For New Hampshire Track and Field, I'm Dave Zink.
I'm Jim McKenzie.
And we'll see you next week at Merrimack.